Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Geek Show. I'm Spike.
I'm Kel,
I'm Amanda.
and we have a guest this week.
A
Ah!
special guest, a very special guest, a beloved Iron Circus artist, and a
Why would you
beloved
say it
artist
like
in
that?
general. Because it's true. What, you want me to fucking lie about it? You haven't been my
Playing
favorite for
favorites with
years.
our guests. A very
But yeah,
special
we got
guest.
Abby Howard here with us tonight. Game dev, cartoonist, Ignatz winner, all around cool person.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it. And we don't really have a lot planned, folks. We're just gonna talk.
That's like usual.
Yeah.
Just like usual. Because we got a lot to catch up on.
I forgot to change it to where people could see our talking faces.
Oh, whoops. Better do that.
I did it. I just did it. I done did it.
We have a lot to catch up on because we've missed 2 geek shows. One by accident and one kind of on purpose. Yeah. So
I was there for both.
2 weeks ago. That was like a con miss.
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. Okay. And that one Kel was not present for.
No, had just come back from San Diego Comic-Con.
Okay, you just came back.
And we talked about it because we didn't do one during San Diego Comic-Con because I was at San Diego. And then we did one when I came back.
Okay.
And then you overslept.
Uh-huh.
And then I was at Emerald City.
Oh, okay. So that's the order. All right. So
yes.
You're doing cons again.
And then I sat alone.
You're fully operating.
In OBS all by myself.
No, I only did San Diego and Emerald City because I have a really good spot at Emerald City, and thought I'd if I don't go back, they're gonna give it away to someone else. Because Reed Pop is awful. And so and San Diego, the table, someone else who sat at our table already backed out, so I was like, I would feel bad if I also backed out. I only am doing those 2 shows and Rose City because it is a 10-minute walk from my house. Nice. I can literally walk to Rose City Comic Con, so I would feel silly if I didn't do it.
I get you.
But luckily, both San Diego and Emerald City were moneymakers. So while I did them reluctly, at least it was worth it. I have a credit card paid off now.
Yeah, Spike's volume is low, but it's usually low.
Test 1 2. Is
no, it is still low. You just got low volume. Oh. Here, let's see. Let me artificially boost it. Y'all keep talking. I'm gonna artificially boost it.
Test. Right. Is that better?
It is better. Yeah. But I can hear people now.
Oh, no. Hold on. Let me.
Is there an echo?
There was an echo briefly.
Okay. Well, there isn't one now. So that's fine.
All right. I just adjusted my fancy mic. It should be better.
Okay,
also,
so
I'm losing it looking at Abby's.
No, I do have to boost you. I'm gonna boost you a little bit.
Okay, I'm losing it looking at Abby's PNG tuber because it keeps just going
I'm so happy with
very good.
It's very funny because every time I'm like, you don't need to make one, I don't even bring it up, but then it's like someone that makes one and I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god.
Everybody wants the opportunity.
Everybody wants the fucking opportunity.
Yeah. We all secretly want to be PNG tubers.
Nobody does.
Yeah. So fortunately both of the shows that I reluctantly went to were moneymakers, so that's good. And since I have 7 C's money, I used to make my living off going to cons, but now that I have a day job, I'm like, I don't need you. You're a luxury. And so I'm looking at all the cons I used to go to, and I'm being more
selective,
cutthroat. Yes, more. So I think I will still go to San Diego, and I still will go to Emerald City because they have proven themselves moneymakers. Rose City, despite being 10 minutes from my house, I'm like, maybe I won't go to Rose City. But I'm looking at them like New York Comic Con, it's kind of in the middle of the pack money making wise.
Someone in the chat says Spike's volume is low, so we don't hear her copy of Kenshi or Rimworld auto playing in the background.
I'm playing Vintage Story these days. Don't get it twisted.
God, I feel like the pandemic really snapped me out of pandemic brain. I was just, or sorry, not pandemic brain, convention brain, where I was constantly just like, oh, well, I have to go to this one because I'll see all my friends and it makes me money. And now that I've been free from them for so long, I'm like, why did I ever do any of these things?
I'm honestly straight reluctant to go back. I can't even.
God, I'm such a different boat from y'all.
Yeah, I get, it's just, I have a lot of considerations, and I think I've brought this up before, but like one of them is doing the con is more than just going someplace for 3 or 4 days, maybe 6 days or 7 days if you're talking something San Diego level. And it takes a lot of mental real estate, and it takes a lot of hours out of my day. And as time has marched on, what I consider like what it's worth to me to give up that time and that mental real estate, the price keeps going up. And there are lots of cons who just, they don't meet it anymore, period. And even the cons that do meet it now are at that point where I consider them really voluntary. And I would probably be trying to back out even if we weren't being subjected to multiple waves of death and illness right now. It's like the one con I think about, like maybe I should do this in 2023 is C2E2, which I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Kel, where it's right fucking there. Like not doing it is stupid.
So the thing is, Spike, like Rose City is even closer to my house than C2E2 is to you. You have to get on a bus to go to C2E2. I literally have to roll out of bed and walk over. Like that's there's no, like it is ridiculous how easy it is, and that tells you how shitty the sales are, that I'm like, maybe I don't need to do this.
Was it what was the con we went to, Kel, where we basically got to go
that was Wizard World.
Yeah, that was the one where we got in for
the worst conventions.
Yeah, that's one of the ones where me and Kel got in for free and I went with them, and we just quietly exchanged looks, and Kel said, "Do you want to be here?" And I said, "No." Do you want to? What was the exchange?
It wasn't even that. It wasn't even that, Amanda. It was, I said, let's never come here again.
Well, first you implied, "Do you want to go home?" I said yes, and then you said, "Let's never come here again." And I said, "Okay." We didn't come back for day 2.
Yeah,
we just went home.
Wizard World is the only con where I've ever just dipped before Sunday, where I was like, it's literally not worth my time to be here.
Abby, have you done any like convention stuff for video game stuff?
Yeah, tell me about that.
So Tony has, and we did kind of do like something that was similar to a convention in Montreal where we had to talk to people for the first time in forever. But Tony went to Gen Con, I believe.
Ooh, I've heard good things about Gen Con. I've never been though.
Yeah, Tony had a great time. Tony did a talk. It was very successful. And we'll definitely go together next year. Only one of us could go this year because we live in Canada now and there's all these considerations. But yeah, so that's the only one because everything else has been postponed or just basically postponed for an eternity. So
yeah, and the border's a lot tighter now, and I don't even know what you need to cross these days, but it's more than a lot of people are willing to do.
And we've got this whole work permit situation where we're trapped in Canada for the foreseeable future. So
yay!
That's a great excuse.
Oh God, y'all just made me think. I watched there's a YouTuber called Phalus, and he did a video about basically Rocket Robin Hood and the 60s Spider-Man cartoon, and it had like a brief segue about Ralph Bakshi getting like basically having to escape Canada because he stole Rocket Robin Hood assets at the behest of like the studio, and like so like Canadian authorities like wanted to arrest him, so he like had to escape Canada back to New York.
Oh wow.
It's something I just never knew, and it's just like that's the fucking funniest thing I've ever heard about like Ralph Bakshi having like crossed the border illegally with Robin Hood bullshit.
The Canadian border is surprisingly harrowing. I think a lot of people, even people who go to say TCAF, which by the way, baller convention, if I'd ever actually like decide to start doing conventions
Oh,
on
I
the
fucking
regular.
love TCAF.
Oh, TCAF's a
Yeah.
dream.
Oh,
TCAF's
That's the one
TCAF.
that's
amazing.
close to me
Except
now.
for that one fucking thing, but we
Ugh.
won't talk about that.
Look, it
What
resolved.
thing? No, it never
It
happened.
resolved.
Yeah, that didn't happen. That never
TCAF is one of those
happened.
shows where like it was always one of my, oh, I have to mute myself. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Y'all talk.
Yeah,
Okay.
TCAF is a
All right.
fantastic show. I love Toronto. I love the people who run it. ... I love the energy. And it has that vibe to it. One of the things I really like about it, which is very unusual, in case folks don't know, very unusual for Comic Cons in general, no matter where you have them, TCAF is free. TCAF gets like government funding, and basically it's held, when I say free, I mean to like visit as an attendee, not as a person with a table, by the way. And
Yeah.
people walk in off the street because it's held at like a big central library in the like beating heart of Toronto. And a lot of people walking in the doors were like on their way to Tim Hortons or doing whatever it is Canadians do. And they're all like, what is this?
They
And
all go to Tim Hortons. That's all they do.
that is all Canadians.
Uh,
They eat ketchup chips and go to Tim Hortons. That's all they do.
I have someone in my chat saying howdy comic role models.
Oh,
Which
get out
reminds
of
me,
town.
I had 3 people come up and say that they're glad that we're back.
Oh,
And that they're then one of them asked me a bunch of questions about what our thoughts on Webtoon were. Because she had been doing stuff for Webtoon.
yeah.
And Webtoon originals, brutal fucking schedule, grinding those 20-year-old artists into paste and throwing them out the door.
I returned. I had to help
Um,
my mom put nose drops in a Persian cat's squished little nose.
Oh no.
It's an
Tiny target.
It's an abomination, so it needs special help.
It needs special care for its fucked up little nose.
It's fucked up little everything. It's a Persian.
Sweetest baby in the
yes.
world, rated 3 out of 5 in intelligence by Cat Fanciers magazine.
Yeah. So I got the skinny on some webtoons, how their contracts are bullshit.
I thought everybody
and
knew that
also-
stuff already.
Well, no,
like
we got-
there's been nothing that's been public because they're very
I saw
like
huge Twitter conversations about it.
I am not
um,
familiar with. Okay, this.
But then again, I forget Kel's like given Twitter like the finger for a very long time.
yes,
so
I don't look at Twitter.
yeah, no, there was
Yeah.
huge conversations about how like Webtoons doesn't pay shit.
Well, I have
they don't
opinions, but
shit,
I'll keep
and
them to
also
myself.
apparently they have recently cut it to be a third of what it was before.
Oh.
Yeah,
So now they
that was a
even
conversation
shittier.
that was on Twitter too.
Yeah. So now they pay even shittier than before.
Yeah, I am. The model Webtoons has introduced for young artists to aspire to meet is troubling.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I understand the notes of that siren call.
I
get it.
don't give a shit.
Well, no,
But it
it's-
also, of course, has the I don't know,
Okay,
big
I
problem.
understand it like I understand vampires need blood.
Yeah, it's got the
Yeah.
big problem of people go to Webtoon because they're fans of Webtoon, not because they're fans of you. So that's always a problem.
Oh God, I have actually seen tweets. These are old tweets. I don't even remember who sent them, but they were talking about how shocked they were that by their estimation, their Kickstarter at the time was underperforming because they're like, I don't get it. I have umpty bajillion subscribers on Webtoon.
They don't follow you. They don't
Yeah,
follow you.
it's like, I don't know how to explain this to you. Like, you're incidental to their lives. You're not central. So they're
Yeah,
not.
this isn't us just being like, "Pff, you kids on Webtoon with your million followers.
Yeah.
well, we'll see how that
even,
does for you. It's not like a jealousy thing. It's just kind of like if you don't build your own audience.
Well, it's not even just that. Like, even if that was your own audience, I think, what's the metric? Only like 10% of your, like, readership, even if this was pure, they come to your website readership, are going to actively, like, monetarily support you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like
Marketing...
10% of the people who will consume your work for free will also pay for it.
What I have heard is it's between 3 and 7%. If you have a certain number of people following you on Twitter and you're thinking to yourself, should I start a project where I expect people to pay? If you figure out what 3 to 7% of your follower count is, that's who you can expect to back you.
It also depends on the kind of creator you are.
There's a lot of variables. There's not going to be any hard and fast rule that applies to everyone. But I know the Iron Circus email gets a 10% call to action respawn rate, and that's considered very good.
Yeah, so see, I meant less because I didn't mean like following on social media.
No, I know you meant they have the on Webtoon. It complicates it even more because there are some people who follow quote quote the webcomic, but that's because it's just they click a little follow button on the Webtoon app. Yeah, it's really that's the engagement, and they get it as an update as part of like many feeds they get.
So yeah, so Spike, my 10% number is coming from, these are people who are actively going to your website every day to read the comic for free. So these would also be the type of people that would subscribe to a newsletter. So it makes sense that your newsletter gets you 10%, because those are the people that were actively engaging in your comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that just gets lower, like if you're through some third-party platform like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It gets diluted. And the thing is, like, the bar to entry to follow a comic on Webtoon is incredibly low, and the readership trends young, which matters. One of the things that I think a lot of
money.
Exactly.
They got money.
Exactly.
They court exclusively 60-year-olds.
Specifically, they don't have credit cards. Because
that's true.
You go to an anime con, which also tends younger. You can make a lot of money because they have cash from part-time jobs, but don't have bills like rent and electricity and whatnot to pay. But they also probably don't have like a debit card or anything. So that's why it's like they can't buy things online, but they can buy a shit ton of stuff from you at a convention.
Yeah, there's I've definitely had experiences with like teenagers buying stuff and younger people who are like, yeah, I came here to save my money, blah blah blah. I had to get a ride here. So it's very like it's an event for them. They'll save their money and like they have to get a ride to come, and it's very cute, but also like they are definitely a demographic who'll spend money if they can. But they gotta cross that barrier.
Yeah, here's like a basic marketing truth though. Like a whole bunch of ads are aimed at people in a younger age bracket, younger cohort, I believe is the term people use. And
I've never heard it.
On its surface doesn't necessarily make a shitload of sense because it's like people who are 23, 24, they have way less money than someone who's say 55, 65. And so why aren't our commercials 55, 65-year-old people? There are multiple reasons, but one of the reasons that a lot of ads trend young and they try to get people young is because of brand loyalty and saturation. They want, by the time you are 35 and you have a bunch of money, they want you to have seen so many commercials for their shit. They're the only people you think of.
A lot of older people are kind of already have their brands.
Yeah, and I think a lot of Webtoon is kind of playing the long game in that way. I think that
that's why I always laugh when I see ads because it's like, joke's on you, I dumpster dive. For fun.
No, what you're saying is definitely that we should all just be making High and Lois and Ziggy comics to
absolutely
retirees. Yeah,
everybody make a cute couples comic where it's all like, we're in bed and I put my cold feet on him and he goes, oh, so cold, relatable.
Or if we want to market to Gen Xers, I hate my husband, but it's for mental health reasons.
Oh, if we go down this route, what'll happen is what happened the last time this happened, and Spike will describe a comic I'm making.
I went to the store and I tried on a dress and it didn't fit.
Spike keeps
Relatable.
going down the rabbit hole. Eventually she's gonna
So
touch the
hard.
nerve.
Oh.
My life is so hard. I don't know what purse to buy.
I tried to comb my hair and it was tangled. Don't you just hate that? Relatable. 10,000 retweets. I'm sorry. I'm bitter as shit.
I will admit, like, remember
Yeah.
how we said last, like, I think, how many episodes have I said, like, ha ha ha, my true ADHD test is I haven't had my ADHD test done yet. But I definitely think something that's kind of repelled me is every single twee little, this is what life is like with ADHD comic. Every time I read those, like, I don't want a diagnosis. I'm fine. Fuck it. Just every time I see those, I'm like, it inspires this weird contrarian energy. Like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll live in ignorance. I don't need to know. I don't need any help. I'm fine.
Yeah, I've begun referring to the kind of comics that I'm currently making fun of. By the way, no shade if you make those kind of comics and your heart is in it, and it's
just
a true
disregard the
expression of
shade.
your love with your disregard all shade, please. But like, I've begun referring to them as playing Vegas, and this is a long complicated thing. I will shrink it down. Patton Oswalt has a whole bit about how he cannot play Vegas because it's so fucking easy and he could just do it forever and make a bunch of money and never do anything good ever again. Because when you play Vegas, you walk out on a stage in front of a bunch of people, most of which are kind of fucking drunk, and all of which are super excited to see you specifically. And you show up and you could fucking get up there and say anything. And they would cheer like a madhouse and have the
Like
best time of their
he
lives.
just had to say like a line in Ratatouille over and over again, and they cheered.
Exactly.
He said.
And he came off the stage going, I can't do this again because I will turn into mush.
He said that, like, it redefined his definition of selling out, and he was like, no, selling out isn't making, like, supporting yourself off art that you love. Selling out is playing Vegas and just saying 2 lines from a movie you were in to an audience that's too drunk to know the difference. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And it's like when I see like hashtag relatable type comics that are just like, "Ooh, I love my hubby so much. Ooh, I love my wife so much. Ooh, this is us hugging and kissing." It's like, ooh, well, I mean, if you want to play Vegas, play Vegas. I'm sure this will get retweeted by every.
I mean, sometimes the other thing
that's at least a Spike. That's at least a healthier alternative to the "I hate my husband and I hate my wife."
Yeah, that's true.
I will also say that those are very, very, very frequently baby's first comic. It's just baby's first comic just sometimes gets more mileage.
Really big. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, I get it. I've talked on here before about basically, I don't have it in me to be mainstream. And I don't consider that a judgment.
We know
else.
you're an edgelord and you're just too special.
I don't mind doing mainstream work. I just no, actually no, there is no but. I'm totally down to do mainstream shit.
I'm not even gonna call it all right.
God, this coffee's nasty.
I can't do mainstream work because, quite frankly, I believe the mainstream is wider than it's ever been. I think that there's more room for everyone in the mainstream than there's ever been.
Not if Discovery has anything to do with it.
However,
none of us here make cartoons. Shush.
They're canceling live action stuff now. Too.
None of us make live action.
I make cartoons, but
you don't make cartoons.
I'm an executive producer on an animated short.
You don't make cartoons.
That counts as making a fucking cartoon, you monster. Anyway.
Yay, I found the nerve to touch. Here it is. Revenge. Revenge is mine.
Show of hands. Who's going to get an IMDb page in about 6 months?
Me. I can make one. You don't have to have qualifications.
But
it's like Wikipedia. I can edit that shit.
Yeah, I can't say that. What I was saying is mainstream is more, it has a broader reach than it used to. There was definitely once upon a time, like 20 years ago, definitely I could never picture myself doing anything, air quotes, mainstream. But what I mean to say these days isn't that. I don't think I have it in me to do, and from a place of love, lowest common denominator stuff, which isn't necessarily bad, but I just don't have it in me to
But that's also like
do
I
that.
think that's also like a spectrum. Like,
Yeah.
I think if you're making commercial work at all, there is a lowest common denominator aspect to some of it.
Oh, to some of it for sure. And it's like I don't have it in me to consciously
Like,
make a decision to make something as palatable as possible to the widest
yeah.
segment of the audience I can. I just
Like,
don't.
I've always felt like the weirdo in a lot of like comic circles because it's always been my goal to make very commercial work, not because for like money reasons, but because my target audience has always been people who you don't reach unless your work is really commercial, like, you know, kids and teenagers, and that's, I genuinely want to make stuff for like teens and kids, and you do not reach them if your stuff isn't commercial.
Yeah, sure. But when I talk about, I think lowest common
Which it
denominator.
sucks. Don't get me wrong, that sucks. But like,
no, I actually agree with you. I think lowest common denominator and commercial are actually two separate.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, where it's like, this is the kind of thing where if, let's pretend writing a script for a cartoon, turned it in, and then when there's a writer's meeting, like people bring out the part I wrote and they go, yeah, this is interesting, but you know, we had a focus group and we found out, you know, males from Scranton between the ages of 17 and 48 who have green eyes and let their pinky nails grow just long enough so that you hate it, they don't like these kinds of jokes. So can you not put that joke in? Like, I'd be all like, I have to go. I just can't see myself giving that much of a shit no matter how much I got paid.
So you're uncompromising and difficult. Got it.
Yeah, fair enough. No, I own it. Why do you think I work for myself? I can't work for other people.
Yeah.
I'm saying wide with a D, not widest.
Yes, the chat is saying very nice things about Abby's work.
Thank you, Miss
That's
Marsh.
because
Thank you.
Abby's work is amazing. Abby, I want to talk about video games.
Person in my chat says Spike makes a comic that will straight up murder the 30 strips. I'm an edgelord.
Yeah. Abby, I want to talk about video games. Can we talk about video games? Why not?
No,
I don't know.
Don't worry. I don't know a lot about video games, so it'll be a limited conversation. I may work in this space, but I'm very picky.
So what program are you using to make your video games?
Okay.
Yes.
I want to just say that I was on a panel where we talked about monsters at Emerald City, and that we started to talk about creepy character designs, and I was like, if you want to see creepy character designs, you should go check out Slay the Princess, because I think the way the princess's character design changes depending on what you do is a great way of different types of like monster character designs and horror character designs in general. Like, it's a great sort of showcase if someone wants to like think about what makes a character design work in horror.
Well, shucks, that's too
I would
kind.
like to share my story about how I knew Slay the Princess actually came out. I told everybody this pre-show, but I follow Abby in private venues, and Abby was sharing like concept art, like, I think this would be a neat game, and I'm like, yeah, that would be neat. Cut to a few months later, and I'm browsing YouTube, and YouTube recommends me this like every ending of Slay the Princess explained, and I'm like, what the fuck? Wait, what? How long has it been? I guess it's already out. Shit.
Yeah,
it took us like I think it took Tony 3 weeks to do all of their end of things, and it took me a week to do the art for it. So, and then we released it immediately. So yeah, it was a really fast turnaround.
So
yeah, I was definitely sitting there like, what the fuck?
I gotta get granular with you if it's okay with you. Like, I have been sort of like dabbling in game dev shit for a while. I am super curious. What are you programming it in?
Ren'Py. So it's a visual novel
specific. Yeah, that's what I was using for the game that Spike abandoned me on.
What game was that? I totally
We were doing Monster Squad in it.
Secrets
I
revealed.
had all this coding like ready to go.
Well,
I had a flow chart.
That is a thing we can discuss when 38 people are not here.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Secrets.
Secrets.
Spill them all right here. That's how you get.
No.
Yeah.
Just spill your guts.
I like literally at this moment have like two things kind of in motion, and it's so fucking interesting to watch, not just you, Abby, but like there are multiple people who are like in comics, and like I'm very used to primarily thinking of as cartoonists, and they're working on games, and I think that's a really cool testament to how accessible
I have a
making
folder
games has
full of
become.
I still have a folder full of assets for the other game. I'm flipping tables.
Like Renpai is like really, I mean, even
Angry.
I understand it, and that's,
I think it's Renpai. I don't know. I used to call it Renpi, and then someone corrected me. Because it's short for Python.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's based on Python.
So it is
But
Renpai.
also,
I've been saying it wrong this whole time.
Pronounce stuff however you want. Who even talks to each other in person anymore, right? So
sounds fake.
Well, once I learned it's short for Python, I was like, oh, okay. All right. That makes sense.
Oh, and someone asked how far into 2023 Slay the Princess is going to come out. That is probably June. Probably June. So we'll see.
I would love to make a video game.
Yeah.
Renpai is pretty accessible.
Yeah. If I can just be that bitch for like 3 seconds.
No.
The one that's been sitting half done because I figured out all the coding and now I just need to sit down and fucking do it when I get a free second. Is this, God, it's so stupid. It's literally based off a tweet because I'm me.
I'm an angry bitch. I'm going to share my assets while you talk.
I saw a tweet like a while ago, and it was just about having a really shitty boyfriend and the call you get in the middle of the night to come bail him out. And it's like shitty by not, he's not like mean to you. He's just kind of like Hot Mess Express shitty. Not
he
like
just
a bad
keeps
person.
getting arrested.
Yeah. And this game, it took me forever. I was beating my head against the programming because it was in Twine, and I was trying to force Twine to do things Twine really didn't want to do. And so I was in like fucking like random discords like a year or so ago, like trying to get Twine to do things.
Gonna have her walk on Spike's head. There we go.
Yeah, Twine is like kind of we did use it as like a scripting program more than anything else. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was hard, but I finally figured it out, and it's weird because now that I've got it figured out, I don't have fucking time to do it anymore. And the whole idea of the game is you're on the clock and you have to figure out where you're getting the bail money. And the game was called Damn It Marshall, and it's like a third done, and it has all this incredibly extra unnecessary shit. God, I'd forgotten all about that.
Little sprite.
That's very cute.
I have someone in my chat.
Yeah, I have a lot of assets for a dead project. Is
it though?
I don't know. You don't talk to me about it.
Which one is this for again?
That was for the cooking one.
Oh God, yeah, the cooking one. That one was way too complicated. I can't do that.
Only because you kept making it complicated. We could have done it simpler and more basic. Like, no. For both games, again, I will not get into the details, but each one was completely manageable, but you kept complicating them.
I am going.
Your scope kept getting way too big.
I'm going to email you after this is over.
I think I've got your last email about it. It was just, about the one. It's just you usually not to drag you, but you talk about it like as if I've been in the loop the whole time, and I have not.
I know you haven't.
Also, Spike doesn't love me enough to ever include me in these plans.
You are writing a fucking graphic novel and managing another graphic novel. What do you have time for?
Everything.
Also,
give it to him.
Also, I'm also the weirdo who already knew how to do the stuff that Spike wanted me to do, because I was already dabbling in Renpai, and I was already making sprite art and animations for my own ideas. That's why Spike.
Okay. I have a person in my chat saying to Abby, I found your work through Strip Search, your Junior Scientist Power Hour, and last Halloween were lovely. They're so much fun.
Taking it way back, deep cut.
Ancient history. Yeah. It's so nice that people have still kind of recognized me from that and like stuck with me all these years. It's very nice. But
Yeah,
also,
those are the
check out
hardcore
my cool
people.
news. Yeah, read Crossroads at Midnight. I love that book.
Yes, everyone. I think that's back in stock finally. That one
Yay.
that one was gone.
It's
Yay.
back in stock finally. That means you can send me a comp. I don't have a copy of it.
Oh, all you gotta do is ask Matt.
Yeah.
But
I'm
yeah,
really happy with that book.
yeah, it's a fucking beautiful book. I'm not surprised it won an Ignatz. That's the one that won the Ignatz, not Crossroads.
Yes,
Lost
it's
Holly.
the winner. It's the big winner.
Yeah,
I
my phone
can't
make
wait
noise.
to do more stuff like that. Just specifically just like books of short horror comics. I have like 3 in the wings for, know, whenever the video games are done. So
yeah. And how do you partition your time between comics and games? Because I've had like a huge issue with that.
I feel like I know the answer coming.
Yeah,
I feel like I also know the answer. The answer is comics are on hiatus.
Yeah, comics are on hiatus because, gosh, I'll tell you, video games be paying. So
I'll bet.
Yeah.
I mean, we won't ask questions, but we can just assume.
Yeah, it's quite nice. Thank you, video games, for treating me good.
The problem
somebody
is,
asked which is harder, writing or doing like video games or doing comics, and they definitely have their different things. I can do a lot more story in a lot less time with games, but just kind of the skills you need to do games are more. That's why there's 2 of us doing it, because Tony kind of brings a lot to the to this company, and then I am very fast at art, so I'm able to do a lot of assets in a short amount of time.
Abby Lurkey, not Abby Howard. If you want comps, talk to Matt. He is in charge of shipping and receiving. He takes care of all that.
Hi, Abby.
Totally different Abby.
Hi, other Abby.
Other Abby. You're other Abby now.
But oh my gosh, writing for this. I mean,
Too many
writing
Abbies.
for Scarlet Hollow is one of the most complicated things I've ever done. And it's so complicated. It's a really, really branching narrative. It's like what we're focusing on. So we're not doing mini games. We're not doing anything complicated like that. We're just
making
focusing
Spike
on like
feel bad by putting assets up on the screen.
Yeah, we're just focusing on like actually doing like a significantly branching narrative. So there are characters who can die really early on. That has an impact on later episodes. Like you can choose to date like different people. And every episode ends with a big decision, and there are 3 ways out of it, if not more. Sometimes there are up to like 4 or 5,
so many
depending on who's
Abbies.
with you. Oh no, they're taking over.
Oh god.
Finally, the Abbey
Too
Club.
many MCs, not enough mics.
I call together this meeting of the Abbey Club.
Oh god, this coffee's so bad.
What's so bad about the coffee?
I think the almond milk is off, but it
Ew.
Wait, it didn't say it was off on the day. It's just thick and weird.
Thick and weird. That's me.
I mean, I'm not arguing.
Yeah, no one's gonna argue with that.
No, I take pride in it. You think I don't go through a lot of work to be this? I fucking pierce my nose and wear grandma glasses and have a mohawk. You think I'm trying to be normal? Fuck that.
I am also thick on purpose. Wink.
At Emerald City, I was sitting next to Meredith McLaren, and I got to see every spicy commission that she drew. All the spicy commissions.
Yeah. I follow Meredith's spicy Twitter.
Yeah,
and I like it.
Did you see the dude tied up that she drew me?
I have seen them all.
Okay.
Yeah.
She drew me Wolf from the 10th Kingdom tied up.
I have a don't retweet porn policy because I know there are people who read my feed at work, but yeah, I see it.
Molly Muldoon was all like, hey, you should tag the actor who plays Wolf and retweet about this horny commission. And I go and I look at his Twitter and it's all very professional, like him at charity events or whatever. And I'm like, I am not tagging him on the spicy commission I got of a character he played.
Unless the celebrity is like openly shit posting, like Lil Nas X or the guy from Eve 6 or something.
Unless he's like the guy from Our Flag Means Death who played Izzy Hands. Spike, if you haven't seen his Twitter is all dunking on conservatives and retweeting smutty fan art of his characters. That's his entire Twitter. It's beautiful. And so it's just like, fuck all the Tories, blah blah blah. Like, what dumb decision they made today. Anyway, here's several pictures of Izzy Hands getting stepped on by Blackbeard. Here's him tied up. Here's Blackbeard like threatening to cut off his toe in a sexy manner. Like,
oh yeah, here's the thing I made as a demo for when Spike said, no, not Sprider, it'll be low poly, and I learned low poly shit. Look at that idle animation.
I am sorry, we will definitely touch on this later, I promise.
No, I want to throw a tantrum right now.
Oh, well,
and I'm gonna do it.
You're entitled.
I
did not ask for a capybara.
You did not. I was using that as I didn't have designs to work with, so I used my own.
Oh, okay.
And this was practice. I was learning. Humph, humph.
Yeah.
I like how no, I love how you're all apologetic, like then like the whiplash of, I didn't tell you to make that.
Yeah. But yeah, you know what? Let's just fucking let's be those people. Let's talk about this project because I'm
mostly playing with you and using it as an excuse to share my work. That's it.
Oh, okay. Then we will. You know what?
No, my indignation is kind of for show. I'm using it as an excuse to be like, look at the things I made.
I almost did that thing that I do that I talked about. I have a problem with, and if anyone here can sympathize, like let me know. Where I have this urge to talk about the things I do in detail, either before I do them or while they're in progress. And I really, really shouldn't, because when I do, I lose the motivation to actually do them because I've already told you the good part.
Yeah, I don't have that problem, because for me it's like, no, I didn't describe. But what I just described for you is not even close to what it'll be like in execution. So like, I still have to make it.
Yeah, I also don't have that problem because telling people stuff in detail also helps me like figure out and get past like stuff that's like if there's a knot in the story. Frequently, like, I don't even need the friends' feedback. I just need them to listen to me ramble about it out loud. Usually that will help me figure out.
Yeah, me and Kel have been in like multiple like voice chats where like we just say, I have a problem, okay, tell me, and I'll like explain an entire chapter and then go, oh, I figured it out, and leave.
Oh. Yeah. No, I can't fucking do that. No, I'll
because sometimes ideas, it's hard to, like, when you hit a roadblock with an idea, like, it's hard to get separate yourself from it. But when you tell someone, when you just lay it out to explain it to another person, the process of communicating it to another person, because that's what your comics are. You're communicating to another person. And so, like, the process of having to lay your ideas out in a way that's, like, communicable kind of helps you see where the problems are.
Yeah, I have so many times, like, all right, so I'm sure the majority of people in here know, but since we have like 10 or 15 more people than we usually do, I'm gonna say it real quick. If you go to my Twitter, iron_spike, like it says underneath me there on YouTube, you will see that the pinned tweet is a comic that I'm currently reposting in Twitter in one big thread. And it's a comic that is literally like,
let me go check if you still don't have a pinned tweet.
No, I do have a pinned tweet.
No, I meant one linking to all your stuff.
Oh, not all my shit.
Because reading comics on Twitter is the pits.
Yeah, but basically the pinned tweet has the whole comic if you just want to read the thread. And there have been multiple times, like, I deserve one of those things that say it has been 0 days since a workplace accident. Like, it has been 0 days since Spike typed some shit out and then thought twice and then deleted it all because it violated the rule where I can't talk about it until it happens on the page. Because I have now developed this phobia where I know the minute I fucking try to talk about world building on Twitter for something I haven't gotten to yet, that comic's gonna fucking die.
Well, I think there's also like a threshold. Like, I think there's a certain amount of information that, like, for example, like talking about like there's like just saying there's a chapter I'm looking forward to where blank blank and blank happens, like, that doesn't demotivate me to make it, because like me saying that will not be the experience of reading it. It just won't.
Yeah.
But if it's like, here is this character's entire bio, every minutia of their life. Here's everything that's gonna happen to them, and here's how they're gonna end up. That's a little like, what's the point of making a goddamn comic?
Yeah. But I see, like, the most detailed I allow myself to get, because there obviously has to be sort of some kind of thing I can say. I think the most detailed thing I've ever said that
Oh no, don't get a
the
crush on
edge.
Spike's bad characters. No! No!
Everyone loves Bolshevik elves vaguely based on Joseph Stalin.
No, don't do it. Love yourself. Love yourself more.
Everyone, I want you to Google Stalin mugshot. And I fucking defy you to tell me you wouldn't.
Spike, that's going to be very easy for me.
Just like take a look at him and just feel like, no, you won't. You won't.
Again, Spike, you're generalizing.
I know, but this
Ew,
is
no, I would not! What's wrong with you?
He looks good.
No!
Are you sure you're looking at the right one? Because there's one where he's wearing like a checkered kerchief around his neck.
I don't think you're gonna be able to win Amanda over.
I'm just making sure everyone in the chat is looking at the right one. He has a checkered kerchief on.
Again, okay, I'm seeing the one that you're talking about. Better than my initial one.
Yeah.
Still, yeah, no. Thank you.
Hot Stalin, yes. Yes, hot Stalin. But yeah, that's actually part of the design sort of ethic for what I was going for with him. He's got these big doe eyes and kind of this, I don't want to say blank expression, but this sort of hard to read kind of expression. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to use that.
Spike frequently forgets, like, my first, like, published work was called Titty Time for a reason.
No, but it's just, everyone please read my comic about definitely not Bolsheviks.
What?
You should also go back the Lizard Prince and other South American
steel is hot. You
stories.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We need it quickly. I'm sorry. Sacco Book says if the steel is hot, you can mold it into whatever shape you want. Oh my god.
That's it. That's
Isn't that what Stalin means? Steel? Oh my god.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my god.
His Joseph Stalin's name is basically Joe Steele.
Yeah, he's just Joe Steele.
Oh
it's
my
so
god, that's bad. Bad of you. Bad. Shame.
But anyway.
Anyway, everyone should go back the Lizard Prince and other South American stories. It's currently crowdfunding on Iron Circus right now.
Yeah, we're like 90-something% funded, and we'd love to close out the week 100% funded. We have thank you for everyone, by the way, who has stuck with us while we've been working out funding privately on our own site. We've been really pleased with the results so far, and we've got everything running smoothly. Unlike all our previous attempts, when you try to back, the page will not crash. And also, the totals are now updating in real time, which was a problem we had. But it's fucking wild, dude. It's been a wild ride. But we're working out the kinks, and I'm extremely happy that I made this decision.
Cool. I'm glad you're working this out before you have to handle my project.
Oh yeah. There was a reason that Porkcraft Cookbook went first, because if it was gonna fuck up.
No, that was a joke. That was a joke. I'm not being serious.
Oh no, but it's true though. It's true though. I have to be the guinea pig. I have to be the test. That's only
also moral. If hot Bolsheviks are not your taste, I have hot werewolves in my comic, The City Between, which you can read at kelmcdonald.com. Werewolves are a flimsy excuse to get men to be undressed in my comic.
Whereas, like, the two projects I'm currently working on, like, if you find any of them hot, I'm putting you in a cannon.
Yeah, they're not just hot Bolsheviks.
You're getting launched into the
hot
sun.
Bolshevik elf monsters. So, I didn't set it on Earth, so I can do whatever the fuck I want and not have to hear from any of you. And also, it'll keep the tankies away. So
no, it won't. Oh, honey, no, it won't.
No, it won't. But I want you to know that while you do have your sort of unofficial title.
Mhm.
In my head, your comic will always be Step
It doesn't
Idiots.
have an. It doesn't have.
Step idiots. I appreciate that. I mean, you're not wrong.
It
I
doesn't
mean,
have an unofficial title. It has a title. The proper
Step-
title.
Step idiots. It's Step idiots.
Step bros.
I'm never gonna be able to pronounce the official title. I'm just gonna call them Step Idiots forever.
I mean, that's what they are.
Yeah, that's why it's the perfect title.
I mean, people need to understand Step is being spelled the other way for the joke to hit.
Abby, are you ever gonna make a comic again?
Yes,
I
absolutely.
thought that, yeah, I was
definitely.
like, wait a second, I thought she was actively working on a thing. She's taking a break from it.
No, here's
Yeah.
the thing. It's only vague.
Do you not pay attention to your friends?
No, it's like it's only vaguely relatable. But once upon a time, I was puttering along on a reasonably decently read by
Abby's
nice
avatar
people.
does do a little chomping. Basically, the VTube animation or the PNG tuber animation is based off sound that we generate. So that's why sometimes like mouths will flap because like Kel is drawing and the drawing sounds instigate it, and so like sometimes Abby will just be over there going bah, 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 bah.
Just like in real life, how I do that all the time.
I have been the person who was making a comic and then something came along that it just was way better financially for me. And I was all like, oh, okay. And then the comic just went away and never came back. And so when I see certain creators migrate to other mediums, and like, let's fucking face it, everyone in this fucking chat, we like comics. We think comics are great. But we also understand that out of all of the entertainment mediums we could have picked, it probably has the lowest uptake of any of them. Like TV, film, animation, fucking video games, anything. Like comics.
I remember at SCAD there was a day where a bunch of professionals came in and talked, and someone asked them why comics, and everyone gave these very nice reasons for why they picked comics over everything else. And then it was probably Jeff Parker said, I did it because I'm a control freak, and I need to control everything, and comics is the only thing that feasibly lets me do that.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. And it's like, the thing is, if anyone in this chat applied the abilities they'd honed on comics to other mediums, and they got a proportional response. Like if 5% of people who read comics are into your comics, okay, fine. If 5% of people who play video games are into your video game, that's going to be just more
That's a
fucking
shit ton of people.
Exactly, because there are millions and millions and millions more people that play video games than will ever read a fucking comic. And that's something I think anyone who ventures out of our little manicured garden kind of gets slammed in the face with. And it's why so many comic writers, like, they leave and they go do TV, or they go do novels, or they go do video games, and it's so much more rewarding. And even if you love video games down to your core, love comics down to your core, you're all like, ugh.
Yeah, I've got my 10-year plan though, and I think I'm going to stick to it. I think I don't have any reason not to stick to it, because Scarlet Hollow has a definite end date. Slay the Princess is going to be done before Scarlet Hollow is done. So that's 2 games knocked out, and then we'll just have money from those games. So I won't have to worry if my comics don't make me any money. I could just make them then. It's like I've gotten an inheritance from some rich relative, except it's just people engaging with more art that I made. So I'm pretty cool with that. And I don't work for a big company. It's just me and my spouse and our contractors. And I just kind of get to do this all day until it's done. And then I could finally finish the last Halloween, which everybody thinks is just dead forever. But it's not true. It's not. It's coming back, I promise.
Yeah, I kind of am in the same boat in a lot of ways, because Iron Circus is kind of doing its thing and puttering along, and it's not dead weight anymore like it was, 10 years ago. It's actually holding its own. And when I have a free moment, I go and I do my Bolshevik Elves comic, and I don't have to worry about it making money. And I floated a question about Patreon this week, but like, I'm gonna be real, my heart wasn't super in it. It was just I was curious. And I wanted to run the numbers. Like if I just had it as a tip cup and I charge $5 a person, I'm going to see how many people vote. And then I'm going to, multiply that by 5 and see if it's worth my time. And I did that. I'm like, not worth my time. And it doesn't have to make any money because that's what Iron Circus is for. And it's so I've been there. I absolutely sympathize. It's a different strata, but it's definitely
I'm in this boat where I have like developed all these like tangential skills like to make an indie game. Like I have the skills. I know how to code now. I know how to animate. I know how to make sprites and even and now it's like that was like to work on other people's ideas, but now it's like oh, I need a fucking idea. I want an idea because that's like it feels weird to have like even though like I'm Team Comics, I now have like skills. It's like well, I want to do something with them. I want to do something with them. I want to make a thing.
Yeah,
it's like I'm tapped dry on ideas.
You can always convert one of your comics into a game.
No, absolutely not. None of my comics would make for a good game.
Yeah,
I can't think of a single one.
I don't have like game ideas. I have comic ideas.
That's
and
fair.
I have a shitload of them. So
like maybe I'm Ghost Hunter. My Ghost Hunter comic idea.
Oh, those little goth girls, or is that
no? That's a different one. Those are my that's Toxic Witches. I have this one about like paranormal hunter siblings who are getting over some bullshit.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, the chunky siblings. I always call them the chunky siblings because like that's basically their defining feature. They're chunky siblings in bad clothes.
Yeah.
Love Me Nice Endless Runner.
Oh god.
See, if I did that, it would be at the moment like your character trips. That's it. You can't play the game again. Mac doesn't get back up.
I did manage to convert an idea. So back before we decided to do a video game company, there were a few brief months where I was like finishing up Crossroads and had to come up with my next thing that was like with a legit publisher instead of just me doing it in my house. Or for Iron Circus, which I probably would have just wound up pitching to y'all at the end of the day, which you are a legit publisher.
Thank you.
Anyway, it was not coming together. I didn't like it. I was gonna have to try to pitch something middle grade because that's what everybody wants.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah, it just was not working. But I mostly had a world building thing set up, and the plot was iffy. And it turns out that's great for a video game. So we might wind up I think we're probably going to wind up doing at least 3 games.
Nice.
But the third one is like so far down the line. We have so much time.
Wait, let me go through
I
my
finished last
list.
Halloween before then.
I am just now realizing that there is an email in my inbox that I have not answered for months that is pertinent to this discussion. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, this is my life right now, where it's all like, that thing you really wanted to do, here I am.
I typed up a list of all of my comic ideas to send to my agent. I have one that's definitely going to be a comic. I have one that's called Don't Punch Bippy.
Don't tell me what to do.
Hey. Look, it's called Don't Punch Bippy because all the characters keep punching Bippy.
Well, what did he do?
Cool.
I mean,
Bippy is a mascot in a theme park that it has become a tradition of nobody likes the character or the costume, and it has become a fan tradition to go and punch this character, like stealthily try to punch the costumed character.
Oh no.
But they are
That's fun.
but it's due to plot reasons that is the only mascot in the park that has a human inside.
Oh.
So like and that's half the reason people punch it, because like people assume it's one of those comic ideas. It's like, why hasn't anyone made a Five Nights at Freddy comic? Okay, I'll make my own with but it'll be good and not shit. That's that pitch. Yeah, it's a really disgusting looking costume and people love to punch it.
Other Abby Lurkey, when you say you don't have the time, but you have so many ideas, but you don't have time, skills, or money, for what it's worth, in my, at this point, coming up on 3 years of dabbling on the peripheral of perimeter, whatever, on the edge of game making, people are frothy about free tutorials and just showing you how to do everything you want. And if you look it up, there's an actually really in-depth tutorial for a game engine called Godot that will literally walk you through the basics of programming in real time. And as a person who's done a bunch of Godot programming, I'm not going to say it's easy.
Please describe
but
Bippy.
there's a guy, I think his name is Heartbeast, and he does a whole lot of Godot tutorials. I'm gonna actually look him up right now.
I think Abby's problem, I think this is all stuff Abby easily could look up, and Abby made it very clear it's also a time and money problem.
Yeah,
Uh,
but
I could learn to make professional cakes with YouTube tutorials. It's just sort of a
Oh yeah, people also say that Godot is really good.
Yeah, Godot, and it's one of those things now for reasons I'm
Show
sure
us the Bippy. Okay, let me go find
Twitter. Anyone who
Bippy.
is in art Twitter probably understands, but these days I'm really backing off of,
Unity
corporate programs.
Yeah.
So Godot is
a lot of
these...
people are backing away from Unity into Godot. So
yeah, like there's that.
Where
and I'm sure
Bippy?
You were. Well, I don't know, Abby. You heard about what was happening to Clip Studio Paint, right?
I did, yes.
Here,
I was still in the position where I was just like, I should really learn this at some point, but I'm too busy right now. I'll have to learn it sometime I'm not busy because I've had Photoshop for like ever.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't actually have I don't actually have a chat. I don't actually have a drawing of Bippy alone. I just have a person wearing the costume. I'm gonna quickly put that on the screen because I control this. I can share these things. There it is.
Abby Lurkey. This is actually reminiscent of a game that I got off itch.io. Here's the time for everyone to judge me. There's a game you can get off itch.io that's about BDSM, and basically like you're in a club basement or whatever, and you are there with like this really oily dude. And he just starts, he holds out his hand, and then you have to shake his hand. And while you're shaking his hand, you're either agreeing or disagreeing on the parameters of the scene. And you can say, all right, so he has to be naked, or he has to have underwear on, or he has to have pants on, or blah, blah, blah. And then, you're going to do heavy, spanking, or light spanking, or medium spanking. And there are just all these little parameters that you can agree to. And once you finish shaking, it's like, okay, so this is how the scene's going to go. And then it fades to black, and then it comes back up, and he's got his butt, and he's waving it in your face. And you spank him. But here's the thing. If you don't adhere to what you had agreed on before, the game literally locks you out. And if you try to open it up again, it goes, no, you broke the fucking rules. That wasn't what I agreed to. I'm not going to play for you for, and there's a timer, and it like counts down. It's pretty cool.
You can find all kinds of stuff on it, huh?
Yeah, honestly, I fucking love it.
Chat, like Bippy's whole thing is that the entire thing with Bippy, sorry, I shared the design. The entire thing with Bippy's design is they're meant to be the most generic ass rabbit, and that's actually why no one likes them. Like in the park is full of these really interesting creatures, and then you have Bippy, who is just like, what? Like it's just a rabbit. There's nothing interesting about it. It looks like a knockoff, and that's why people don't like it. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Abby is screaming, "Tell me the title!"
What game is this?
I'm gonna actually look it up for your sake.
Yeah, I found a couple of like really short horror games on itch. I mean, they're pretty popular. I didn't just stumble across them, but I've been really enjoying kind of just like these art house games that people put together.
Yeah.
But then, of course, you have to sift through the incredible piles of people who are trying to copy either these art house games or just like more popular things like the million Backrooms games that have come out.
Yeah,
just kind of, ooh, somebody had a good idea and it's easy for me to do. That means I can totally do it and will also get money, I guess.
Okay, everyone, the game is called Hurt Me Plenty, and it's by Robert Yang. So if you go to itch.io and you search up Hurt Me Plenty by Robert Yang, you will find it.
I finished a page, 2 pages. So you can people on the Geek Show can look at it. Amanda can share them if she chooses.
No, maybe,
but does not have to.
No, I will. I showed so much of my own shit. I'm a selfish little gremlin.
Anatomy and How Fish is Made are two of the ones I was thinking of. There's also this one of you go all you have is a hammer, and you go around hitting stuff with a hammer. But then some of the stuff you hit has flesh inside of it.
Pick one, Kel. Pick one for me to share.
The bottom one.
Okay. I will.
Nero, yeah. There's another game. This is on me because I have a attention span that ain't shit. Robert Yang did another
you also
game
need to take the test.
That was all like, oh, here you are in the gym, and it's like it's kind of a realistic gym, so it has.
Oh shit! I have to save it. I forgot.
It's like the gym. It's locker room. It's in the locker room specifically, and you are in the showers of the gym locker room, and a guy comes in and he's all like, well, hey there, and he takes all his clothes off and he's showering. He's like, oh, you want to, it's like, it's so fucking like porn movie set, but it's like, oh, you want to reach the parts I can't reach? Yeah. And
how do you find these? You put in search terms or what?
Honestly, once you find one, it gets pretty easy because things are added to collections, and people tend to put things in collections that are related to other collections. And anyone who publicly shares their collections, that's when you can get to like, consensual torture simulator and encyclopedia fuck me and stuff. But the one
these
where
are great title names, by the way.
Yeah, but this is like
hurt me plenty. The evil codeine version of Love Me
High. And once you're done like soaping him up, I'm like, oh, okay, I know where this is going. But then he goes, thanks, that was great, and then he leaves. And then you notice, like during this whole conversation you were having, you notice he was like here for, I don't know, Pilates, let's just say that. And he's like, I'm here for Pilates every Sunday, I'll see you then. And you have to actually come back Sunday after his Pilates class in real fucking time to like make the game go further. And that's what I dropped at. I'm like, I can't commit like this.
Now, okay, do you have to spend all that time in the game, or is it like it knows when it's Sunday?
It knows. It's checking your system.
Kel, Nero says that your art whips.
Thank you, Nero.
Good job.
By the way, you all got to see the Teen Wolf character get warned to run away. He's a teen wolf.
Oh yeah, so
much like it's funnier to say Dracula than vampire.
Oh yeah, Teen Wolf and Dracula.
Teen Wolf. Yeah,
I kind of
and Draculas.
Aside from very specific situations, I tend to default to Dracula to like the confusion of a lot of people. Like, I was talking to my stupid dinosaur game friends, and I was like, sorry, I'm sleeping weird hours, I'm a Dracula. And they're like, what? Like, a Dracula.
Well, that's not them. They should put it together.
Yeah, context clues, idiots. I know you're all 17, but context clues, idiots. I would never say that to them.
Dracula, it's from a book of the same name.
Look, look.
Matrix Blood, he's got fangs. It's weird.
Surprising no one, a game that is about role-playing as dinosaurs tends to attract a younger audience. They're mostly 18-year-olds, so I get to educate them about things that are before their time, like yaoi paddles. And they were like aghast. I had like an audience of like 10 people under 20, and they were all aghast. I'm like, as you should be. The past was terrible.
You was like the oldest dinosaur up on the hill.
Talking about
to all of these
just this ancient Parasaurolophus on a hill, telling the tales of the dark ages where we had yaoi paddles.
You're the grandma dinosaur from the Disney's dinosaur sitcom.
Oh, the puppet one.
Yes, the puppet one.
I have no memory. I have no memory of the grandma. I only have memory of the terrible baby that he hated even as a child. I hated that baby so much.
I don't like the nefarious baby. The two things I don't like in horror that keep coming up is like, haha, it's kind of a funny part, is severed hands and evil babies. I'm not a fan.
I rewatched Dinosaur.
Is this the grooming I've heard so much about? A Parasaurolophus on a hill just saying, no, children, my time was worse. You used to get
but
smacked with paddles for no reason.
I rewatched Dinosaur. The baby is evil. The baby is also voiced by the same puppeteer who is the voice of Elmo.
Was the voice of Elmo.
So, yeah, was the voice of Elmo. So the baby in Dinosaur is basically evil Elmo.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry. They got the children got an education, Chad. Don't worry. I told them all about how awful things used to be because for some reason, personal space just was not a thing for me as a teenager in any fandoms. It was pretty awful.
No.
Well, no, because like there were the free hugs and the glomping, and like it took a while for people to be like it was very much more common than it is now to run up to a cosplaying a character and it didn't matter, like the aggressors were like male and female. It didn't matter, like people teenagers when I was into fandoms and I was a teenager consent was not a thing. Like you can say what you want about how like you know puritanical like online teens can be, but like I do appreciate that they understand shit like consent way more than teens did back then.
The surprise, I'm touching you now thing.
Oh, yeah.
That was a thing, and that was one of the stories I definitely told them, like, yo, no, y'all got it way better, because, like, man, I was wearing a Minnie Mouse hat that I made at a convention, and it was just a little hat, and I got touched, and it's just like, no like, me no like. Just nobody even knew what Minnie Mouse was, and I got touched. It was very weird.
Oh, how dare they? Wow.
I know. Plebs. Yeah, I was, but that also tells you the type of the flavor of teen I was. I went to an anime convention and had a custom-made Minnie Mouse hat. It's like, yeah, what an awful creature I was.
You were one of those.
Like
yes.
Friends. I would have been like, hey, if you heard about his comics, they're like super dark.
Yeah. I mean, I did have the topic black platform boots with the flames.
Oh wow! I would have been too intimidated to talk to you.
I tripped.
This is too cool.
I tripped in them and got sent to the office and searched for drugs.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Yes. Because they were like, why is she walking funny? It can't be because she's never worn shoes this tall before. She's on drugs. Search all of... They took apart my mechanical pencils and searched inside my mechanical pencils for drugs.
Oh my god.
All because I wore really, really tall boots.
Well, there could have been cocaine in those mechanical pencils.
I do not think cocaine makes you wibble wobble.
No.
I don't think cocaine makes you go, whoa, on the stairs.
Drugs can make you do anything that they want them to do to you. Yeah. If you get a bad grade on a test,
it was really funny because they didn't tell me what they were searching me for. So I'm just sitting there in the office while they take apart all of my mechanical pencils and dump the contents out. And I'm sitting there like, what the fuck is going on?
Did they at least put all the stuff back in, or did they expect you to do that?
I actually have no memory because the moment I realized what they were searching me for, I was sitting there like, what? Like, I kind of had one of those, like, disassociative states of, like, what the fuck?
Did you worry that maybe they would find it? I always get that way when I'm
in
trouble.
Even though you didn't do anything, you're still worried like you did it?
Yes, I'm just like, well, they know I did it, so maybe I did it. I just don't know.
Okay, this is. I think I've definitely told y'all the most Amanda story of me crying when I received an award.
Aww.
I was in the 2nd grade and I won an art contest with the fire department, but I didn't realize I'd won. I just submitted art and I guess it won, and they were like, someone came and was like, Amanda, well, that's not my name, but anyway, Amanda, you need to go to the principal's office. Someone needs to see you. So I was like, okay, but usually you have an escort, but for some reason they didn't give me an escort. So I was just walking alone in the halls during class time to the principal's office. And I start thinking like, what did I do? What did I do?
Oh.
Oh no, what did I do? I don't know what I did. Oh my god, it could be anything. What if they think I did something? So by the time I made it to the office, I was like sobbing, crying. And when I opened the doors, there were a bunch of firefighters in the office, and that made me cry even harder. And so they were like, and they had a trophy, and they were just like, no, this is for you, kid, the thing you drew. And I was like, but it was like too late. Like nobody, they were supposed to take a picture, and nobody did because I was so gross.
I mean, like, if you're called to the principal's office and you see a bunch of firefighters, you assume somebody died.
At first I assumed the worst, like, I'm in trouble. Then I got there, I'm like, oh no, my house burned down.
Oh.
My
Because
dad
why
still...
else would the firefighters be at school?
Exactly, so I was just like, bleh.
Being a child is the worst.
It's the worst
experience anyone goes through.
I
Basically.
remember in college, a bunch of friends and I were sharing what's a dumb thing you believed as a kid because you didn't like what leap of logic did you make that like as an adult you realize how wrong it was, but like as a kid you didn't have key information, which is why you made this leap. The funniest one was one of my friends said when he was a child he thought that the women had two boobs because one gave milk and one gave orange juice because that's what you drink with breakfast.
That is what you drink.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. There's two drinks you have with breakfast, and women have two breasts, and he's seen milk come out of one, so clearly orange juice comes out of the other.
If only.
Oh, I believed for a very long time. So much so, this is such a cornerstone, I put it in one of my comics, but I believed for a very long time if you ate boogers, you would get worms.
Ew.
Because that's what I was told by the adults in my life. I guess they didn't want me to eat my boogers, so they told me, if you eat boogers, worms will grow in your stomach. But that didn't stop me from eating my boogers. That just made me have panic attacks and made me go... I basically was like...
It was full of worms!
But I wasn't in a panic about it. I had this like Zen moment, like as a first grader, of like, oh, I must be full of worms already. Well, there's nothing to do about it. That was
might as well just keep doing it.
Yeah, that was like the Zen state I entered. I'm probably like 60% worms now. There's nothing to do about it. Just keep eating my boogers.
I don't know if this counts, but I would do stuff like cut a bunch of like all of the vital organs out of construction paper in the various colors that they're supposed to be. Do a whole like human body, like my size human body, lay out all the organs and cover them up with a skin layer of also construction paper. And be like, well, why isn't it alive? It has all the organs it needs. And I was like, it must be that I didn't get the right color for the brain. I need like
you did the heart shape wrong.
What color is a human brain? I need construction paper now.
I did have a phobia. Maybe it's because of the movies I saw. I did have a phobia that like I was very suspicious of certain toys that like any minute this is gonna come alive and bite me. Just any minute this toy's gonna bite me.
I felt like I had to treat my toys like gods, or they, I mean, especially with Toy Story.
Toy Story really fucked us up.
Yes, I was just like, these are all human beings, and they're talking shit behind my back.
As fucked up as Toy Story is, has anyone here seen there was a Christmas special where if the toys got caught moving by their human, they would basically die. Yes.
No, I never saw that.
I have seen that. I
feel like that is way more terrifying than what happens in Toy Story.
Here's the thing. That's terrifying, but like that wasn't like a threat to me as a human child. Whereas we had a toy.
You could kill your toy.
That's okay. I was okay with that. I would prefer them be dead.
Yeah.
Me too. That was my preferred. I did not have empathy for my toys at the time. Like that wasn't like a level I had reached. At this time, I was like, I would prefer they be dead, because then they won't bite me.
I want them to be inanimate. I do not want them to be people I could disappoint.
Like me and my brothers, we would have toy wars, and this is like maybe it's because we were terrible with our toys. We basically kept all our toys in this giant Rubbermaid bucket. And when Toy Wars happened, you would dump all the toys on the floor and draft toys into your toy army. And everyone wanted the Jurassic Park. It was the Jurassic Park T-Rex with a mouth you could shove things down, and it had a slit in its stomach so you could then get it out of them. And we all wanted the Star Trek figurines because those were the most easy to eat. But you could also put your tiny little fist in his mouth. And I did have moments of, man, I hope this don't bite me.
I also had that toy as a child, and me and my brother immediately found out that he can fit 10 Jurassic Park figurines in him at once. The 10th one, the legs are going to stick out of the mouth. We also figured out that if you that you could fit a toy raptor in there too.
Oh yeah. My mom learned that if her keys or credit card went missing, to check the T-Rex.
Oh.
He ate a lot of things he shouldn't have. So yeah, one day she's like, where the hell are my keys? She's like, oh god, I have to shake this fucking T-Rex.
Yeah, my grandmother kept getting us American Doll stuff.
Oh yes, same.
I kept just being like, please do not buy me more of these clothes or anything. I can't do this.
Oh, see, I was the opposite. I was thrilled with my American Girl dolls, but I didn't play with them how I was supposed to, and I kept getting they were like, no, you're messing up their dresses, you're messing up their hair, they need to go on their shelf, and I'm like, no, she's going on a backyard adventure, leave her alone, let her be free.
Allowed. Yeah,
I had an American Girl doll, but I had like one of the modern ones. Like, cause they did that thing where you could design your own doll to look like you,
to quote unquote look like,
and quote unquote look like you.
I used to hide my earrings in my pregnant Barbie.
It was a flimsy excuse to get that husky sled dog set. Like, I didn't give a shit about the doll, but now that I have the doll, Mom will buy me the husky sled dog set. And who gives a fuck about the doll? I have this dog now.
Yeah, this is me being real old here, but I am so old that when American Girl, before they got bought and they got sort of absorbed into Mattel, they used to be called the Pleasant Company because they were founded by a woman named Pleasant Rowland. And they used to sell the dolls through mail order. And
that's how I got mine too.
And so I would get the Pleasant Company mailings, and in case folks don't know, I'm black.
There was the one black doll
that was a late edition, and
and by the time she was getting them,
I'm sorry, was she an escaped slave? I think but either way, she was a slave.
She was an escaped slave.
Here's your doll.
Yeah, so you see where I'm going.
Yes,
with
here's your doll. This is the one for you.
One of the 3 reasons I have decided I like Big Mouth is that came up. Because it's like, keep in mind, all right, so imagine yourself, this is again one of those fucking representation matters moments.
Yes.
Imagine if I were younger, if I were 11 or 12 and had been into dolls, and I was getting these mailings, and they had 15 white girl dolls. And the 15 white girl dolls were from every imaginable time.
There were more like 4 at this point in time.
There's I think 5 at any given moment.
For comedic effect, let me do it.
There's
the wartime girl and the frontier girl and the colonial girl, and you just got this selection you could go through. But guess what, little black girl? Guess which one you get?
Why the fuck would you do that?
Black people don't exist in any other format, period. Except here's the slave doll. You get the slave. And it's
I got because the American Girl dolls, American Girl dolls all had book tie-ins, and sometimes if you couldn't get the dolls, you would get all the books, and that's typically what happened. I got all the books, and I distinctly remember I could not finish Addie's book.
Yeah,
I just couldn't make it. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. I had a mental threshold as a kid. What the fuck? This is a lot. I'm like, oh, cool. So, and then when you brought that, I'm like, oh my God, that was the one that, oh no. Yeah. Oh no.
So kudos to them now. They have stopped making Addie and replaced her with a black girl from New Orleans from the 30s.
And you know
So-
what? I'm willing to bet.
Yeah,
Addie
no,
didn't
like
do
seriously,
bestseller.
Laura's correct.
Like,
Addie's life was like, like I don't remember the details, but her life was constantly like in genuine
Yeah.
peril, and like not in a, oh no, my wagon's hanging off a cliff with my dog in it. No, it was like genuinely harrowing. It was awful.
yeah, and it was just one of those things where I can see the angle they were coming from. I can see there was an intent to do a good thing.
No, there was
And
not.
Yeah.
no, there was. I've actually read about like their process for deciding,
Okay, because I just assumed it was a
okay.
money grab.
No, it was not a money grab. There's a whole article you can probably still find online that talks about all the fucking specialists and historians and child development people they consulted, because at some point they're all like, we have to address this elephant in the room. We have to do something. You know,
and they still do a lot of like research when they release
Yeah.
a new doll that isn't
Yeah.
white.
Yeah.
Because like the Native American doll, the specific tribe she's from, it's rude to smile, so they actually don't use the default face model they give all the other dolls.
They don't have, well, they don't have default faces. They do have variations in their faces.
So, well, she was the first one that
Didn't have the open
show her
mouth.
teeth.
Yeah.
Because they're like, all right, that's rude in their culture. So this tribe specifically, the one that we're writing her living in. So let's be respectful of that and actually like it's kudos to them for making a completely new like face cast or whatever.
And then there was the American Girl competitor. I think it was Magic Attic.
That one I'm not familiar with.
I think it was basically, it was a competitor where they were also mail-in dolls. They were very similar size. They didn't have the soft, I know because I had some. And I got in trouble because they don't have the soft body, but they're the same size as American Girl doll, and American Girl dolls are, relative to children's toys, a substantially sized doll. And the American Girl dolls were of a much harder, denser plastic. So if you picked them up and swung them by their legs, you could hurt somebody.
I am actually sitting on the American Girl site right now, and all right, first of all, the thing I have to comment on is I am fucking rotting into a corpse because they have under
Great,
their
now I gotta go look.
Character line, their fucking historical character line, they have a doll from the Halcyon Fargon days of 1986. So I'm a rotten fucking corpse. She comes with a Pac-Man game and a Walkman, and she's in acid-washed jeans. And I
need to look at this right now.
I want to fucking die. Just looking at her makes me want to fucking die.
Last I saw the 70s one where her mom is like a feminist.
Jeans.
Look at
her little, look at her little skirt and her leggings.
And she's got some jazzercise wear. Jesus fucking Christ.
Look at her little cassette player.
She has a business suit that's like got the shoulders and a fanny. I'm gonna fucking die.
Like what? But it was over. Like again, I was born in '87, Spike. I turned 35 this year. It's almost 40 years ago.
I'm a rotten corpse. But yeah, it's
that is how time works.
But what I am here for is like, here's the thing that I like. Why couldn't you fucking do this the first time around? There are 2 little black girls in the historic line now.
Holy shit!
One is from this. I know, right? Wow.
I think there's
one's from the 20s.
One's the mod one, right?
No, one of them is like the Motown girl. So she's got like the flip haircut, and she's in a recording studio with one of the old style mics, and she's dressed like a Supreme, even though she's a little girl.
And
I thought she was the mod one.
I see they have a Hawaiian doll now. When she's supposed to. Oh, 1940. That must be fun for her.
And yeah, Claudie here from 1922. She comes with like flapper wear and stuff, and it's like, what? Oh my god, this is also very shocking to me. Claudie here, the second little black doll, she actually comes with a bonnet. So when she goes to sleep, she actually goes to sleep like an actual black person. With her hair in a bonnet.
So I had a Josephina, I had a Kaya, I had a Molly.
God damn, you had them all.
Yeah. Oh, so when you have parents who are in a constant custody battle for 8 years, sometimes they go to weird lengths to prove they're the better parent, even though like they don't have money.
Yeah.
So I had Addie, I had Samantha. Yeah, I had like I think I had almost all of them, and again, I got in lots of trouble because they spend a lot of time in the backyard.
I'm glad they retired Samantha because she was bullshit.
She was the one that I got, and I was always really confused. I was just like, when does she live? What is this?
Which one is Samantha?
She's the rich one who was nice to her Irish servant, isn't she great?
Yeah.
We got, of course, like I don't like
all of her accessory kits were things like pressing flowers, like
my Oma got me her and kind of just like assigned one to each of the girls in our family, like the cousins and all. And I got her, and I was just like, I don't relate to this. I don't understand this girl. I read her books, and I'm just like, who are you? I don't understand. Why are you just like this? And it's because she was rich, and I don't get that.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I
rich
remember
people.
a lot of her stories were being like listless and bored.
She was so fucking, and then it was just really boring to read. And I'm like, is this who I am? Is this a reflection of me? And meanwhile, my sister has Felicity. She got the fucking horse, and I got, I don't know, I think a stuffed dog. Not even a real fake dog, like a stuffed animal dog.
Yeah, no, if I remember right, Samantha's entire thing was like
tall.
Her parents were just frequently gone. She had a lot of time.
No, her parents were dead because I remember making jokes that she's Batman.
Okay. See, I didn't even remember that much because I just remembered, like, honestly, most of her books are, I am listless and bored.
Yeah, honest to God, though.
See, those were my takeaways. That she was rich, her parents were dead, and she was nice to her Irish servant. Isn't she wonderful for being nice to the Irish?
But yeah, real talk though, like I'm sure there are multiple master's theses that have covered the topic top to bottom. But Abby, what you were saying before about like, is this what I'm supposed to relate to? I honestly think that shit is at the core. It's like, so we all know we live in this society that has this bullshit line down the middle of the toy aisle.
Joker.
These are the girl toys. Yeah, we live in a society. Oh, these are the boy toys and these are the girl toys, and there we go. And everyone who fucking thinks in that kind of binary, when it comes time to buy their child a toy, they're going to stick to that side of the aisle. And it has been my observation and my experience, which is admittedly dated by, I haven't been a child in a real long time, but this is sort of based on what I experienced. And you talking about like, is what the fuck with regard to American Girl dolls made me think of that. No, wait, let me just get there. Okay. Let me just get there. Where it's like, I think at the root of a lot of girls, both like kind of feeling alienated and also deciding they are N-logs, not like other girls, is they are fucking fed this sort of vision of girlhood in a way I think a lot of boys are not via the toy chest. Girls are sort of fed this vision of girlhood and womanhood via the toy chest. And if you don't align with what you're being fed, you're like, what the fuck? Because I remember having those what the fuck feelings when people would buy me, air quotes, girl toys. Like I didn't relate to any of the shit people would bring for me for Christmas. And I remember Christmas being fucking harrowing because I'd be forced to be grateful for shit I didn't want and would never play with again.
That gratefulness thing.
So I say, like, in American Girl doll's defense, Abby got the worst one. Samantha is the worst one.
I'm glad that I'm getting confirmation of this 20 years down the line.
No, Samantha sucked.
Addie's life was suffering, but at least suffering can be interesting.
No, I remember, again, I had an Addie. She came with cool stuff. Her story was cool. Her books were just traumatizing.
Yeah.
Yes. So, like,
I don't think she experienced an ounce of joy.
Yeah. And, like, maybe Abby would have better memories of American Girl doll if she got Molly, because Molly was like crafty and like, I'm gonna help with the war effort and like scrappy or whatever. Like I remember her being more tomboy-y. And then at least like Kirsten, like the frontier girl, like was into like crafts and making shit. Like
practical things.
The only things I ever related to though were weird little creatures. Like
but I'm just saying, like, at least American Girl doll wasn't saying there is only one girl, here she is. It like there's at least like a little bit of variety. Like
Like
in
Felicity had a horse, for instance, a horse
yeah,
that was not mine.
Felicity was frequently running off to join the revolution. Like,
So like
she was a politically minded lady.
Which war?
my experience was I was, I guess, the kind of kid who, like, I liked getting the dolls, but also I was the kind of kid who was like, you would hand me a doll and say, oh, this is so-and-so, she does this and this. And I'm like, no, her name is Scrunchy now, and she loves dirt. Goodbye, she's leaving with me.
Yeah. I was not a doll kid. I was a Lego kid, like big time Lego kid.
I wasn't a doll kid, but I did have a lot of stuffed animals.
Yeah.
I like animals, but dolls, I mean, I watched Twilight Zone, man. I knew what dolls were all about. They're all about killing you in your sleep.
So like so while dolls were never a big hit, I feel like my relatives eventually figured out a stuffed dog is gonna get a genuine reaction from me rather than a doll.
Oh no, I'm still the asshole who, well, if I had shelf room, I would still. The new Monster High dolls are really fucking cute, man.
Oh yeah, no hating on dolls in general. Like dolls are, especially art dolls like that, very fancy.
Yeah, it's like I just like want y'all to picture like little baby Spike getting fucking like pirate ships, like Lego pirate ships, just straight up giant ass cool as fuck pirate ships. And to go with the pirate ship, you know, you got the pirate ship for Christmas, and then on your birthday you got like the fort for the guys who fought the pirates.
Oh my god.
And so you had this big tub of Lego because, you know, as the years go by, the people who fucking actually knew who you were and what you like would get you Lego sets. And eventually, after like 10 years of that, you got a lot of Lego.
You got Frankie
And so-
already?
And
Like,
you're sitting there and you're like, you have enough pieces now that you can make whatever you want. And you're just fucking whiling away the hours in your room, like fulfilling every nook and cranny of your imagination, building the coolest Lego shit ever, to your mind, of course. And then like someone taps you on the shoulder and you turn around and they're like, hey, you want a slave? You want a little slave?
Oh god.
And it's like,
okay.
No, I'm good, thanks.
Spike, speaking of the big old tub of Legos, my Legos were eventually banned in my household.
Yeah.
Because so this is the other end of the toy aisle problem. My older brother does not like sports and was not a sports person. Much to the bafflement of all my aunts and uncles, and were like, what do you get a boy who doesn't like sports?
Have you tried asking?
No, never.
So they got him Legos, and then they got him more Legos, and then they got him more Legos,
Ooh, this
and then
sounds
they
good.
got him more Legos.
I like where
and
this
then
is going.
finally, for reference, my mom is one of 8 children, and my dad is one of 5 children. That's a lot of Legos twice every year. Eventually my mom was like, we have 5 trash cans full of Legos. You cannot buy him Legos anymore.
That sounds great though. When you have that many pieces, you could make anything.
Yeah, I mean, we built a lot of shit out of Legos. Also, as a kid, I liked to chew on stuff, so we did not have that many Lego tires after I was done playing with Legos.
My mom and dad were pretty good about like just kind of getting us stuff that they thought we would like, but our extended family would get like, you know, boy toys for my brother, and then I don't know, whatever bullshit for us, and then suddenly I would be my brother's best friend for like a week. It's like, oh, you've got Connects and Bionicle?
Man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, we love spending time together, right?
I want to
Let me help
repaint
you
these.
build it.
I want to buy Rainbow High dolls and repaint them. Holy shit, Abby. You were holding out on me. I'm so mad. Not you, sorry. Other Abby. Other Abby was holding out on me, and I'm regarding dolls, and I'm very mad.
I have to admit, I'm not a doll collector, and I don't play with them, and I don't have any like great memories associated with them, in case that hasn't been clear. But I'm kind of fascinated by doll YouTube, and I follow people who feel very strongly about dolls. And if anyone here is looking for like they have that same impulse I do, where it's like, I feel like listening to someone talk passionately about a thing they care a whole lot about, but I don't give like 2 shits about. and I feel like listening to them do that for 2 hours. There is a YouTuber called Darling Dolls, and dolls is spelled with a Z at the end, and he is super into dolls, and he reviews like this season's line, and he does ranked
Shadow
tier
High dolls.
lists, and he talks about
Ooh.
like the doll iceberg and stuff like that. And he like listening to him go on about like Barbie, like he calls her Miss Barbara. It's incredibly fun, and there's like a lot of interesting insights, like shit I didn't really think about, like, you know, the different face mold they use in Japan to suit Japanese aesthetic tastes. And did you know that, you know, Barbie was licensed for manufacture in England, but then they lost the license, but they kept making her anyway, and over there she's
Well,
called a
these
different
dolls are
name.
all like in grayscale.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Also,
The
Rainbow
other,
High now came out with an albino doll. You know, it's just interesting. It's just interesting.
I as a kid was really into My Little Ponies.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, giving me animal toys as a kid, I was like, yeah, give me more.
Yeah.
They're animals. That's way more interesting than people. I can do. I liked. I had a lot of My Little Ponies, and I had a lot of Littlest Pet Shops. And I had a shit ton of stuffed animals. And occasionally I would be given a Barbie, and like that Barbie went elsewhere, and who knows.
Oh man.
Oh
She
well.
doesn't fit down the T-Rex's throat, so what's the point of her?
I feel so bad for all of the kids who would like come to my birthday parties when I was younger, and their parents would have, you know, bought me a girl appropriate toy. And I don't feel like I've ever been very good at reacting to things the way I'm supposed to at parties like that. I think I've gotten better now that I'm a grown up and can control myself more, but I'm sure I was super
Exactly. I think
But
I've only had 2 birthday parties with friends before. So I never had to act in front of friends. But I was always having to perform for adults because my birthdays were always about like the adults more than it was about me.
They were competing.
Yeah, I mean, this was about performing for the parents who had spent money on the doll who were sitting right behind their kids, and it's like, I love it. I'm not going to disassemble this and add it to the Barbie drawer where we had all of the disassembled Barbies that we reassembled.
I did start to play with Barbies after we got sex education in school, and I was like, oh, now I know what I'm going to do.
Now bash the Barbies together.
Now I understand.
And then I didn't have enough Ken dolls to act out little stories with the Barbies. So I did give one of my Barbies a sex change. And by giving a Barbie a sex change, I mean I cut her hair, I drew a goatee on her face, and then my mom has this file for filing calluses off her feet. And I took that to Barbie's titties and gave Barbie top surgery. It took a very long time and a lot of effort.
But what else were you doing? You were a kid.
Yeah.
You had a free afternoon. You could do it.
Yeah. So I did give Barbie top surgery.
Did Barbie get a new name or?
I forget.
Yeah.
I mean, well, because I have multiple Barbies, they couldn't all be named Barbie. They needed an actual name.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You see, I need to watch more Darling Dolls because I don't remember all the names. And honest to God, another reason, like I suddenly give a shit about sort of being observational.
I know that Barbie has a baby sister, Kelly.
Yeah, it's like one of the reasons
because I certainly got told about that a lot as a child.
I got observational. I'm watching from like the cheap seats with opera glasses, is because one of my very favorite drag queens is Trixie Mattel, and Trixie has a ridiculously huge Barbie collection specifically, and likes to take them out and show them off and talk about how much she loves them. And it's like, I guess I could just like look into it because I didn't know Barbie got this deep, because it gets deep. They're doing all kinds of weird shit these days. Like they're selling Barbies that are completely coated.
Okay. Chelsea is the baby. Kelly is like the child. I think Stacy's like the preteen teenager.
Yeah.
I think there's another one now. I forget.
There was that weird puberty Stacy.
Oh, the one who's like, you could like crank her waist up.
And her titties grow.
Well, it was like you pushed a button and then her waist would go up, and then she would get bigger titties.
Her boobs were like recessed.
and-
It was interesting. It was
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was you could have her actively go through puberty. And it's like that is
Time
an
and time
interesting
again.
choice for a toy.
Over and over and over.
You know, for fun.
Yeah.
See, I was really attached to think it was like a magic hair hula Barbie or something like that, because her whole thing was, oh, she's got these arms that can bend in every direction. Well, the elbow joints were extremely loose. They were not very well fitted. So if you shook her hard enough, the arms flew off. So I really liked that one, because if you put her in the Barbie Jeep and slam the Barbie Jeep into the wall, her arms would pop off, and I liked that.
Someone is saying growing up Skipper is the name
Growing
of
up
that puberty
Skipper's
Barbie.
the other one. That's right. It was Stacy Skipper. Yeah. I always loved the name Skipper.
Did anyone here have like a family member that, this is very specific, sorry. Anyone here have a family member who was like super into getting or checking out like the Christmas Barbie of the year?
Yes.
Oh God.
Okay.
No.
Oh, wow.
Because that was one of the things I would get every year, is I would get that year's special Christmas Barbie, and it would be handed, you know, when you're like they're handing it off to you, and it's in your hand and the adult's hand at the same time, and they don't look at you in the eye, and it's like, do not take this one's clothes off.
Yeah, don't take this one.
Do
out of the
not.
box.
I just remember
it.
every time I'd get that one, it was, I get this very stern, look me in the eye, I'm serious this time, do not take this one's clothes off. This one goes on the shelf. You do not play with this one.
Because I liked stuffed animals as a kid, obviously I was prime target to get hit with the Beanie Baby craze. So I think I had a Princess Diana memorial Beanie
Okay,
Baby.
I have to pee.
Oh,
Try not to be
shit.
problematic while I'm gone.
Oh my god, yeah. It's like all right, can I just say really quick to anyone in the chat still listening right now, like, don't fucking give kids toys and then tell them they're not allowed to play with it. Like, just admit the toys for you, buy it for yourself, put it on a shelf. Just don't give a kid a Barbie or a Transformer or whatever and just being like, don't take it out of the box. Like, that's a shit move. Don't do that. Anyway,
Yeah, give kids something they can mess up.
Exactly.
Like,
just
in fact,
assume.
My favorite gifts were always the ones who were like weird little chemistry set, or like, here, make your own candy or rubber balls or whatever. It's just like, the point of this is to mess everything up.
Yeah, that My Little Pony is getting a haircut. it's gonna happen. No child can resist.
Assume anything you hand to a child is going to be torn apart in 5 minutes. So please know what children do.
If you're super caught up in making sure that the toy stays pristine, just admit it's for you and just
put it up on a shelf.
Exactly. But
none of my family members cared about Christmas Barbie, or if they did, they were smart enough not to give Christmas Barbie to me because I was utterly disinterested in Barbie.
Yeah, I remember when I was God, people are gonna be all like, you're traumatized. I remember when I was very young and I was going to visit my grandparents for, I think, the first time. And their first big act, this again, they hadn't like met me. Okay. So that's definitely where this energy is coming from. And they took me to the toy store. I was not consulted on what I wanted. And they just bought me a Barbie and they handed it to me. And a great deal was made out of the fact I was not grateful or excited. And they were very, see if I ever buy you anything again. And I remember, even at that incredibly young age, I remember thinking to myself, well, if all you're going to fucking buy me is Barbies, that's fine. It's just like nobody, why don't people ask kids what they fucking want? Or maybe that was just my family. Maybe everyone else's family asks kids what they want.
It's a mixed bag. Sometimes it was I do not have time to figure out what you want, or the assumption is you must want what everyone else wants. Like sometimes like knowing what a kid wants is also can be difficult if you're an adult, because again, I did like dolls and I found a way to enjoy my dolls, but I was not enjoying them in the way I was intended to. So it's like if they had figured it out sooner, they probably would have got me like like what are they called? I remember they were like they probably would have got me like outdoor toys had they known I was just going to bury my Barbies in the dirt.
Did anyone here get that Barbie that was just a Barbie bust and it had like long hair and you're supposed to like play hairdresser with it?
Yeah.
I think I saw that thing fucking once on Christmas Day, and then like I don't even remember what happened to it. That's how little
Oh
I
man,
fucking cared
I
about it.
braided her hair. I put makeup on her with accidentally permanent things. I tried, I kind of was like, it's time for you to eat food, and I would like smear peanut butter on her.
That's great.
I was not kind to my toys.
Oh,
Like
who
almost
is
every time
really?
someone's like, "Well, are you nostalgic for X?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I had one of those. I destroyed it."
Yeah. Well, I think that's normal and healthy.
Here is a very me story.
Mhm.
As a child, there was a giant field in the back of our house because it was property for a disused mental institution. Um,
Hooray!
so what I would do as a child is trespass on it and like run around in it pretending to be a wolf. Toys required. We're gonna pretend to be wolves.
That was a
in
mean
this
laugh, but
field.
there was love in it. Please know that.
Yeah. Oh, Beck H is talking about Cabbage Patch dolls. That reminds me of a thing I wanted to talk about. We were talking about, adults who don't consult children on the things they buy for the children and then get angry when the children isn't like incredibly grateful and excited. That makes me think too about how, and this gets touched on occasionally in media, that parents are super invested in being good parents, capital G, capital P. And their idea of being good parents is so diametrically opposed to what an actual good parent is. And part of that, in my opinion, is it seems like every time the holidays rolls around, December shows up, there are parents who are determined to get their kid the hot toy no matter what. They will go through hell and high water. They will pay $300 on eBay. They will punch somebody in the face in the middle of a Toys R Us to get their kid the hot toy, the toy that's in demand, the toy everyone wants. They will never fucking once ask their kid if they actually want it. And it's more about look at everything I went through to get you this, as opposed to the kid would have probably been happy with like a set of colored pencils or some shit.
Gotta
But they
find
didn't
that
ask. They
picture.
don't know. And it makes me think about when I was young, that hot toy was a Cabbage Patch toy. And
Those were
like
in
this is
hot demand at some point?
oh, are you shitting
Yes.
me?
I remember
Like
seeing that in those VH1 countdowns.
No. I
the
remember they were
historical
like big.
records.
No. I had some. I just don't. I guess I remember they were everywhere and they were abundant. So I guess I never realized like
when I was again like younger than 10, single digits, Cabbage Patch toys were so incredibly popular that there were people who would like long, and this is again when long distance calling existed. They would put in long distance calls in middle fucking America, like Topeka, Kansas or whatever, and they would ask the Toys R Us's there if they had Cabbage Patch dolls. And they would have to get on flights from, because I grew up on the Eastern Seaboard, they get on flights in DC and fly to Kansas because all the toys were sold out all up and down the Eastern Seaboard. And when I talk about people punching each other in the face for for toys, I'm talking specifically about Cabbage Patch dolls.
wow, I didn't know that.
I remember news reports where there was a crying woman and she was like a mess, and she talked about how she was just trying to get a doll for her daughter and someone ripped it out of her hands, punched her in the face in the middle of the Toys R Us and ran away. And again, I'm old, so this was back when Cabbage Patch dolls were made of cloth. They had
I thought they're
cloth
still
heads.
made of. Oh, never mind. They transitioned to yeah.
Yeah, they had cloth heads, and the features were defined with embroidery floss, like really tight stitch embroidery floss. That's how old I am. And I remember I got a Cabbage Patch doll for Christmas, and I was not allowed to touch it. And it went in the closet on a top shelf in the guest room. And like that has been formative of many opinions I have. I did not want a Cabbage Patch doll, so it wasn't particularly traumatic. I couldn't play with it, but I was shown the doll and then it was put on a shelf in the guest room. Not my room, the guest room.
I've
Wow,
told y'all
that
the
is not-
Furby story, yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. That's all that matters. As long as I've told you it, that's all that matters.
Those spooky little guys.
I got a commission from Milk Gilman and they just sent it to me. And so excited to get this on my wall.
Oh,
Hell
good.
yeah.
Colored pencil, I assume.
Somewhere
Yes.
I'm looking for somewhere on my computer I have this photo of me that's like, yeah, that's the child who destroyed things, and I gotta find it.
In the chat, sometimes people get way too invested in the idea of surprise as an essential part of a good gift, and I really don't like that. A lot of
Yeah.
people think that they have to add some kind of special spice or something when I just directly
Yeah.
tell them, "This is what I want. If you wanna buy me something or if you wanna do something, this is
Yeah.
exactly what I want, and I will not be
I
disappointed if you take credit for me."
hate getting presents
Oh, yeah.
because my mom ruined them because even my positive reaction that was genuine was not excited enough and not grateful enough.
Yeah.
So presents are ruined and I hate them now.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
genuinely just don't like when I am expected to I mean, what they want out of you is that reaction. Like, that's
Yeah.
kind of what they're fishing for, and it makes me feel like there's a lot of pressure, and I'm just gonna disappoint people, and then I just
Oh,
kinda like
that's why I
I
always
feel
loved.
like
Oh,
I
sorry.
feel like my mom I'm a fairly dry person. And my mom wants the reaction from me, a very dry adult,
Mhm.
the reaction you'd get out of a 6-year-old you just gave a Nintendo to.
I
Yeah.
cannot imagine you,
Yeah.
even trying to live up to this expectation.
Yeah.
That's why we did not talk for 3 years.
Yeah.
Um, and why I refused to go home for
Yeah, I
Christmas.
always had to
Yeah.
reassure my mom that my brother liked his presents or he was fine. Because, yeah, I've told her about Cameron. Cameron is the driest motherfucker, drier than Kel.
Mhm.
Um, so but when he genuinely likes something, he will go, ah, thank you, and then put it next to him. That's just how he
Mhm.
is. You can give him something he's been waiting for all year, and his reaction will still be, cool. Puts it down next to
Thanks.
him. And so my mom was like,
Yeah.
he doesn't love anything I give him. Like, no, he does love it. That's just how he is. Calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got an art book for Christmas once, and I spent the entire evening looking through it. Like, but apparently that wasn't grateful enough, or me liking
Yeah.
the art book enough. Like,
Yeah. I have my in-laws, I just want to preface this. My in-laws extremely kind, sweet people I think the world of.
That
But
you're
I
about to
remember
drag, huh?
I don't know, it's just I think this might be a generational thing, but it's sort of part of that whole people who like Abby, you were talking about people who like think things need to be a surprise no matter what. When Matt, my husband, he was my boyfriend then, but when he moved to Chicago to be with me, the parents were very much into the idea of helping us feather the nest. You know, they were going to send us housewarming stuff. And we were all like, oh, cool. Well, we can make that really easy for you. We'll just put together an Amazon wish list and you can just like click buttons and, that'll send stuff to us. And they were like super disappointed by that. And they were like, well, no, it's like that takes all the fun out of it. And like when we send it to you, won't you be disappointed? Because you'll know exactly what it is and there'll be no surprises.
no, it will be great because we got the thing that's exactly that we wanted.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
And they ended up totally ignoring the Amazon wish list, but getting us basically what was on it, just, locally and then packing it themselves in one big box.
Just their own little
It's like,
flair.
well, this is more work than you
No,
needed
my
to do,
mom
but
loves the
thank you.
fact that we all have Amazon wish lists last year. Like, good. Thank God. I'm
Yeah.
so over like guessing what you want. It's like,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so like, don't you want to make people happy? Don't you want there to be like no question whether they wanted it or not? Like, just get them some stuff off the wish list. It's
Yeah,
fine.
like
It's
there's this
okay.
one Christmas where like this is not like a terrible story or anything, but it's an example of this of like all I wanted was a cork board. I wanted a cork board so I could put art inspiration stuff on it. It was a very simple request. And it was like I was scraping the bucket trying to figure out what I wanted for Christmas. And my Oma wound up, bless her heart, she was a wonderful
Hmm.
woman, but she just did not think that that was good enough. So she got me some, I cannot even describe what it is. I guess you could technically think it was kind of adjacent to a corkboard. You could perhaps attach items to it if you desired, but I couldn't hang it on the wall. It was too heavy, and it was made out of weird puffy cloth, and it did not put it anywhere near me. It just lived in the kitchen for the rest of its life. So yeah, it was just the thing of like, I know it's only like a $10 gift, maybe $20 gift, but that's all I want. I just want a corkboard. I
Hmm.
love the look of it. I want to put stuff on it. That's the whole idea. And it's like people tell you what they want.
I'm okay with surprise gifts if they're not coming on my birthday or Christmas.
Yeah.
Because I do understand I saw this and thought of you.
Yeah.
You feel good and it makes the giver feel good. I have a tiny Lego werewolf from Rhiannon that I still have on my computer. And stuff like that I appreciate. But yeah, I don't like Christmas gifts and I don't like birthday gifts.
Yeah. I actually get it. It's like I have stuff I have like an Amazon wish list right now, and the stuff on there is just very basic bitch shit. Like I'm asking for stuff like, "Hey, here's a book. Get me a book. It's Amazon. Get me a fucking book." And it's like, people are like, "No, it can't be just that." No, it really can be. If you just get me a book, if you get me this $8 novel about like the history of the Ottoman Empire, I will say thank you and I will mean it because it's what I want because it's on the wish list. Stop making it hard.
Listen, I have a wish list. There's some fucking expensive books on there that are out of print. So if you get me that, you will definitely get a thank you from me because that's hard to find. The Art of the Lion King is $80, maybe more now because it's been out of print so long.
See, now you're gonna make me go and look at my wish list. I'm gonna just see.
You know how y'all are always like pointing, like surprised or pointing out that like the little skills I know how to do. A lot of it's rooted in the fact that like once it became Amanda is artist. Once that became clear to the entire family, that's when all the dolls and toys stopped, and that's when 50% of the family was like buying me sketch pads and drawing supplies. The other 50% were extrapolating art to, I don't know what they thought art was. Well, here's the thing. When even beyond crafts, like I got an entire how to make balloon animals kit one year.
Oh my gosh.
And that was like one of the only things,
right?
that was one of the only interactive toys I got that year. So, and I spent Christmas break making balloon animals. I can make balloon animals. I still remember how. I could make you a balloon animal right now if you gave me a balloon. Well, the right kind of balloon. I got I got books. I got a big book about how to make art out of garbage. Like how to turn like any discarded grocery item into a face mask of some variety. So I had a book about turning milk cartons into masks and cereal boxes into masks. It was like, do you want a mask? Just dig in the garbage.
Holy shit. I feel like the biggest downside to the way that I feel about gifts, though, is that I think it makes me a bad gift giver. Because if somebody isn't direct with me, then I just feel like I'm getting them garbage that they're gonna hate. I'm just like I'll get people food. Food is a great gift because you can eat that, so it goes away and it doesn't just sit on the shelf forever, reminding you that you don't really like the present somebody got for you. So.
Is this why you like hot clowns? Look, I don't know. I don't understand the clown thing. Okay, y'all. I don't know the clown thing.
I've actually forgotten how many fucking like embroider patches I have on my wish list, and one of them is just I don't even know why I went to art school with like 15 question marks.
I actually have a problem now when it comes to like giving people presents, because present giving was such a formalized event, and I didn't go to birthday parties and I didn't have my own birthday parties. That presents were not something you gave friends. Present giving was this incredibly formalized, all right, it is present time. Sit on the sofa in your best outfit, whatever that is at the time, and wait for your present. Then you get your present, and then you wait for a photo to be taken of you. And then you open your present. Then you wait for another photo to be taken of you. And you do that until all the presents are open, whether it's birthday or Christmas. So once I became like an adult, it became very like, I don't know. It's like I don't know how to engage with people on their birthdays. Like, I don't know how to like. I always feel bad because people remember my birthday and they'll like get me presents and stuff, and I'll like the gnawing guilt of I knew when your birthday was. I didn't think to do anything for you because I think I've just been trained for gift giving to be a formalized event. And
that's why, like, for my birthday, I'm going out to nice food. You should join me. Your present is your company. Like, that's it. Like,
but I don't even think to do that stuff. Like, I don't even think to do stuff for my own birthday, and I don't think to reach out to people. Like when it's like, hell, when it's your birthday, I almost never remember to say happy birthday to you.
I just
The
posted a
instinct
link.
isn't there, and it makes me feel like a selfish asshole.
No, honestly,
No one
no.
thinks that. Yeah.
Yeah,
We're adults.
nobody thinks that way. I just posted a link to a site that's like all over my fucking Amazon wish list that I'm just sharing with everyone. And it's called Strange Ways. And if you just go to the pins and
Where did
patches
you
and look
put
at the
it?
embroidered in the chat for YouTube, the YouTube
Oh,
chat.
good lord, where is it?
So everyone can see it.
Where?
And it is
Oh, links might be blocked. I might have to go enable link. Let me go sign into the Iron Circus account real quick.
Happy birthday.
If you go to strange-ways.com, it's like there's so many fucking like there's this one patch I've wanted for a long time that's just black and it has in block white letters no fun. And it's like, yeah, that's me. No fun. No
Oh
fucking
no,
fun.
CL Schneeweiss in
They
the
pop
chat
out
says
the
my
chat.
family will hint that they want paintings to me. Oh my god.
Oh
Yeah, I get so
no
stressed out when people want art gifts.
Art.
I'm
You
just
said
like,
you put
oh
it
no.
in the YouTube chat?
Yes.
I don't see it.
Undersea Spike Trotman. It might just not have shown up.
I'm
but-
scrolling. Yeah, it might. I think it didn't show up because I don't allow linking. I think.
Well, there you go. That's it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just go to strange-ways.com and look at all the cool embroidered patches and just be like, fuck, I need a battle jacket so bad.
Oh my god, my mom hates my wish list.
I need to share the nonsense that Mel Gilman has sent me.
Okay.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, is this in the in
Oh,
the Discord?
nice. I don't know what this
that
is,
is
but it's
nice.
very pretty.
Yeah. Abby knows. Abby knows my brainworms.
I do. Though I must admit, I have never seen the 10th Kingdom.
Oh.
What?
I don't know. I mean, I know of it because we've talked about it
you
before.
saw it.
No,
Yeah.
it's that I think years ago we were talking and I was just like, I should really watch that. And now here I am and I'm like, I should really watch that.
You should
But
watch
now I
it before
have
drawing
to.
the commission that I'm hiring you to
Yeah,
do.
now I have a time limit. So
Oh shit.
and
Pressure's
I need
on.
stuff to do. Yeah, pressure's
I
on.
posted a link for Amanda so she can get that iron-on patch.
Okay, I don't want that.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Yeah, boys drool.
I'll share this in the chat for everyone else, but I don't want this. I don't
It's
dislike
boys.
I don't
Not a
dislike
free
boys,
family
and this is a
art gift
very
brings
mean-looking patch.
joy.
If this was a clown that just says boys are okay, I'd wear that.
Oh my god. There's another one here.
There, if you want to make a patch for me, it'll be a cute clown that just says boys are okay.
I'm hardly ever right, but I've never been wrong. I want that one. Fuck.
Oh my god. Okay, Spike, we're veering on like minions,
Okay,
Facebook
yeah.
minions, sassy
Yeah,
phrases.
I know. It's just, and then there's one that's, oh my god, that one's a fucking divine patch. I want it. Fuck.
I'm glad people in the YouTube chat know what the 10th Kingdom is.
I am not aware of what the 10th.
Here, then do you want me to share it with
How have you been friends with Kel all these years? You don't know what the 10th Kingdom
It's
is.
okay. No. 10th Kingdom is a requirement. It's the cheat code to Kel friendship. It's not a requirement.
Okay.
Kel, do you want me to share the fan art with the chat?
Sure.
Okay, I'll put it on screen. Let me go grab it real quick. See if if it makes.
Basically, there is a big bad wolf character in it, and he is the reason werewolves in my comic have tails, because I saw the 10th Kingdom when I was 11, and it definitely awakened things in me. There is a part where he's getting tied up, and he asks to be tied up tighter, or he'll eat the girl up. And it's
my.
Well then. There's also a very horny hide and go seek scene, which also 12-year-old me has thoughts about.
Yeah, I'll bet. I'm just flooding the Discord now, by the way. I'm just gonna.
Well, I'm not sharing everything.
And I showed it to Blue and Corey at Emerald City. Like, that's what we did after the show each day, is we watched this mini-series from 2000.
Oh, I found it. You can share this one, Amanda, okay?
I can I?
Yes, you can. I'm about to post it right now. This one. This is the one I was talking about before. I like it. I want to get it.
This looks like it's impossible to read unless you get close to it, but yes, I see what you're talking about.
It's very authentic.
Here
it's
it
very true to
is.
life. I don't know why
I'll
I went to
share it.
fucking art. I don't know why I went to art school. I don't know.
Oh, my millipedes are awake.
Oh
Yeah!
My millipedes.
Hell yeah!
My
Tell me
little-
about your millipedes.
Well, they're getting pretty big. They're going to be probably about 4.5 inches when they're fully grown. They also live with some isopods who will not stop making more isopods.
That's what
I tried-
isopods are good at.
They sure are, and I keep giving them food because the millipedes also live there. Because I looked up on the internet, how do you stop them? How do you stop the isopods once they get started? And everyone's like, well, you kill them. It's what you do. And I'm like, but
Basically, yeah.
but they're babies.
Don't you just kind of like wait for them to die? Like they eventually start starving and they starve
Right, but
themselves
they
down
have
to a
to. You gotta
sustainable-
feed the millipedes.
My millipedes.
Yeah,
This is the dilemma. I can starve them in the other container that they're in.
yeah.
So that's fine. They can die in there. But in this one, I got to make sure that those millipedes are okay, which means that it is a boom for the isopods.
Spike, I got multiple commissions of Wolf at Emerald City from various friends. The rule is that they had to already know who Wolf was. And
That's a lot, yeah.
Sorry, someone, Becky H says you can sell isopods, and that just makes me think, like, you've got this web store for your comics and games, and you can buy, like, comic and game-related patches, and then at the very bottom, there's a listing for isopods in a cup.
Please take them, please.
Please.
I also saw that a method is to individually sex each isopod, which you have
Oh
to do
my
with the
god!
microscope. And I'm like, dang, okay, I'll squish it before I do that. That's too much dang work.
Yeah, I was watching a bunch of YouTubers who are like, you can keep a jumping spider as a pet. You just go into your yard, catch a jumping spider, and make a terrarium for it. And there's a part of me that's like, I want a pet jumping.
Once it's introduced as a concept,
Yeah.
I'm just like, you can just put it on your desk.
Yeah, you
Give
can.
it
Any bug. Just go grab a bug.
They can be your friend now. You
Yeah.
can make them be your friend, and they can't do anything about it.
There are some cute ass jumping spiders out there. I could just like start like I'm gonna start headhunting jumping spiders.
I like when they threaten you.
Oh gosh,
As if they could hurt me.
Where they raise their little legs and they're like, "Don't you?"
Oh, I
come
don't
near
think that's
me."
a threat display.
That's a sexy display.
Last
They're
I
trying
heard,
to have something with you.
last
They
I
like
heard, the
me.
little paws, the little what do you call them? Peta somethings? I don't know, but they raise their little hand pads in the air, and they're like, "Hey, ladies."
I like the peacock jumping spiders that have the little display appendage and they wave it around.
Oh, they're gay little fans. They're gay little butt
Yeah.
fans.
They're butt fans. That's what they are. And I found Abby with an H, Abby Howard. I found you a patch.
Okay, the reason
it's true.
I brought up the 10th Kingdom to Blue and Abby was we were chatting and we were discussing what is media whose DNA is baked into stuff that you make.
Put your hands in the air like you care a lot.
So
yeah, that was fun.
With me, delinquents.
Amanda and Spike, what's other media that's baked into the DNA of your work?
Like inescapably, I
Yes.
feel that the FedEx arrow of my work is Akira.
That's not a bad one. That's
a good one. Yeah.
I guess if you took Sailor Moon,
just Akira, or is there more than one? Like,
well, no, I'm sure there are more than one, but the one I constantly feel aware of is Akira. It's one of those deals where it's like that comic that David Willis did a while ago where someone was holding a gun to Frank Miller's head and it's like, write one script without a prostitute or you're going to die. And he gets like one sentence in and he's like, there was once a horse. Like that's like that comic. Like that's me and Akira. It's like I think I'm not writing Akira, and then as things progress, I'm like, oh fuck, it's Akira again.
I think if you were trying to get as reductive as possible, and like, okay, we have to clone Amanda, and we have to do it fast, and we have to do it cheap. I guess you'd take Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Sailor Moon and put them in a blender.
Oh, that's so fun.
Look at anything I make, and it's like, oh god, it's a variation on that. Everything you fucking do.
James Hogan, if you would like to see my wolf collection, I have tweeted all of my wolves so far. My Twitter is Kellhound. It's spelled like Hellhound, but with a K. Just scroll back a couple of days past all the promo tweets for lizard prints, and you will see them. Yeah, so I said like the 10th kingdom is why werewolves have tails in my comic. That's basically it. That's the beginning and end of where that comes from. But obviously Buffy had a big influence on me. And then like art wise, I used to really like Adam Kubert because I really liked Ultimate X-Men's art. And then so mesh him with Glenn Keane, and I feel like that's the art DNA of my stuff.
For me, I think it's Digimon and Clive Barker. If Clive Barker wrote Digimon. So. Like, I love writing the specific kind of erotic monster that he does. There's this guy in Scarlet Hollow who follows you around, and he's like a rotting corpse, and you never see his face, but you just know it's not nice. But he's hot and has a huge following and fan base. And he walks around saying stuff like, "Oh, I don't want to hurt you. I'm your friend. I want to make sure you're safe." And he's gross and disgusting and threatens your friends, but it's like, oh, but he's so nice to me. Like, oh my god, it's so fun how much people are basically like, well, he said he's my friend, so I don't see why he would just lie to me. It's great.
Yeah,
so I feel like that's great Clive Barker.
Yeah, the thing that I keep coming back to over and over and over again is delinquents.
Oh, real quick. I'm just saying this so everyone knows. We're past the 2-hour mark. We are totally down to keep going, but I'm just letting you know.
Oh, we should probably wrap it up in the next 10 or 15 minutes.
We don't have to. So. I'm just saying, if you're feeling it, we can keep going.
I promised to have a meeting with some people.
I can't hear
you. Yeah, I have to have a meeting. So, y'all can keep going, but I should probably check out in 15 minutes max. But the thing that I keep coming.
Spike and Amanda, if you watch the 10th Kingdom, I will commission you to draw.
I won't.
As well.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
okay.
The thing that I like,
my watch list is too long to take a sidebar for that.
Yeah, I like people who are young, not maybe like 18 through 25. They're at that age where your brain is on fire and you don't know anything, but you're full of energy to do nothing at all. Like you have a ton of energy and you're going to spend it all doing stupid horseshit that doesn't matter. And I like and I like writing about people in that period where they make really bad decisions for really good reasons. That's a recurrent theme in like all of the shit I've written for the past 10 years. People making really bad decisions for really good reasons. And they like, I also am like super into subverting how you feel about someone. And I've done it both ways. I've done it where it's like, you're going to like this person a lot at the beginning, and then I'm going to turn them into a turd. And I've done, I'm going to show you this person. What I'm doing right now is I've flipped that where it's like, I'm going to show you this person being genuinely fucking awful, and I'm going to force you to like them. And so like, I like just shitty delinquents doing shitty things that are on a certain level bad people, like Odessa and Lucas and Odessa and Bettany and Blacata. They're just like doing bad things. But at the end of the day, you're like, fair.
Didn't you try to think and summarize this shit I like
Hakusho's probably in there too, because Spike talking about her love of delinquents is like, I also really like delinquents, but they're a slightly different brand of delinquent, and they're Yu Yu Hakusho delinquents. That's the brand.
I have chosen to read Akira as Tetsuo and Kaneda are up each other, and that makes it way better. Just sharing that with the class.
I agree.
I don't think I don't think that's a common vernacular, but okay.
You have never heard that one?
Up each other?
Up each other, yeah. People who are fucking are up each other.
Up each other.
I have never heard that in my life.
Abby is in the chat saying, Spike, you should read Tokyo Revengers.
I don't know what that is.
It is about delinquents that make bad decisions for understandable reasons.
Are they up each other?
I don't know. I haven't read it. Abby's editing it, so Abby would know. Abby, are they up each other?
I don't like this. If y'all keep saying it, I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I'm gonna keep saying it forever.
I don't like it.
Oh,
it's very unpleasant.
that I feel I must address. There has been much discussion of whether or not this guy in our game has a dick or not because he's rotting.
Oh boy, that'd be the first to go,
You
I
may,
think.
if you desire for him to have a dick, he may have a dick. It's up
Oh
to
my
you. That's for
God.
fan interpretation. I don't think about the genitals of my characters. As far as I'm concerned, everybody's smooth like a Ken doll down there. So
Oh
that's
God,
my
I have
answer.
been avoiding so much recently because like the comic I'm doing right now, they're not humans. And I've made some decisions in the background what's going on.
What they got? What kind of dicks they got?
I can't talk about it. It breaks my rule.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
I'll
but,
wait.
like,
I know
with
for
bated
Love
breath,
Me
'cause I love when
Nice.
somebody's got a fucked up situation down there in all kinds of ways.
I
I'll
love
tell you one thing, they're not people.
I love for Love Me
Excellent.
Nice. One of my like things with like Love Me Nice is like how like I have the law of funny or the like. There's like tune logic, and something I'm looking forward to in a future comic is and I can talk about it because this motivates me to want to finally get there. Is so like the pantsless characters can the way it works is like as long as they don't feel naked, they aren't naked, and that's why you can't see nothing down there. They don't feel naked. So they aren't naked.
Right, and so their
feeling,
dick appears when
Basically,
they feel
it's
naked.
completely
It's
tune
just-
logic.
It
So
like it sparkles in like a teleporter on first generation Star Trek. You hear the sound, and then the dick just appears in golden.
I'll have to
sparkles.
take your word on that. I don't have a visual for that. But there's a plot point in the future where like a character just starts wearing pants. And it's like, wait, why are you wearing pants like all the time? It's basically they're a dad now and their child asks questions and it just made them uncomfortable. So now they feel naked. That's it. That's the only reason. Their child made them feel self-conscious and now they have to wear pants all the time.
That's good world building.
Yeah.
I love it.
But also people that's like, oh, will you draw porn of these characters? I'm like, absolutely not, because I'm not drawing Mickey Mouse's dick.
Oh, I can't wait till I get to the dirty shit in Blocata because people are gonna be like,
Oh,
"What the?"
Well, you're
fuck
not
is
drawing
happening?"
proxy Mickey Mouse, so it's fine. I ain't drawing Mickey Mouse's dick.
It's gonna be great. Oh my god, it's gonna be so fucked up beyond a measure. It's gonna be.
I am looking forward to my next Slipshine chapter, though. It involves
They're not
fisting.
people,
It's gonna
don't
be
ex-
great.
Don't expect people. They're not
Magical
people.
girls
Yeah,
fisting. Hot damn. They are adults, though. They're magical women. Let me amend. Let me amend. Magical women.
Yeah.
Themed after magical girls.
Appropriately aged, magical, feminine people.
Yes, fisting.
Yes, fisting.
Yes.
I'll never forget that one slug dick one you did, Spike. Was it the alien one?
You.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was just like,
Thank you.
exactly, perfect. Why would you give an alien a normal ass human dick? You can
No.
improve upon it. There are better
No
ones on
human-
Earth with us.
Yeah, I didn't draw. I'm not drawing non-humans just to slap a human dick on them. No, these are good. I mean, I think I've demonstrated pretty completely that these are not people. Like, no one thinks they're people. So
Yeah.
why would you expect anything else?
You know,
Okay,
there's
so
this thing-
my problem with the phrase, sorry, I've been thinking about this. The problem with the phrase "up each other" is because my brain, no, my brain autofills it to up each other's up their own ass. Like I don't like that's what my brain. So that's why it doesn't
Okay.
make sense. Like when you describe someone as being up their own ass, and then I think that's also conflating with down each other's throats. So it makes me think that these are
Oh,
smug people disagreeing. It doesn't make me think these are bone. This is like Bone Town.
oh, okay.
That's why my
okay,
brain
fair
is
enough.
like having this short circuit. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I guess I assumed it's that they were referring to putting objects up each other, or
I think
or
so, I
organs
guess
up
so.
or
each
body
other.
parts and other body parts.
I guess so,
Yes.
but like, there's so many idioms that like supersede that one that I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Also, I just like I'm just gonna say I can say this because I have interrogated it thoroughly, and it is not ruining anything. Human beings are really fucking weird and gross
Yes.
when it comes to like everything about our bodies.
Oh, yes.
So we should not be expecting those on space aliens, like period.
Oh goodness, no.
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
you like titties are front butts. Like
Oh
that
god, boobs are so weird. Yeah.
they are literal front butts. You know how when you go to the zoo and you see chimps and they have these massive swollen asses and you're like, that's disgusting. Your chest, if you have breasts, it's doing an ass impression. Because
That's
when
what we
we stood up and we began to be bipedal, it wasn't like the fucking swollen ass wasn't in anyone's face anymore. So the titties, instead of just getting big when you had a baby and they needed milk, they just started big and stayed big, and so they're front butts. That's all they
so
are.
weird.
It's
Yeah.
like human bodies are so fucking gross and weird.
I need to see
And-
sources on the front butt thing. I need to see.
Oh sure.
I need you to cite your sources.
Yeah, The Human Animal by Desmond Morris.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So for Star Wars,
I already have
okay.
a problematic
It-
relationship with my breasts. I did not need this. Thank you, Spike.
It has been past the half hour
Oh, yes.
when Spike said that she needed to go.
Yes,
so I'm
yes.
just
Why are you
jumping
trying?
in.
No.
I'm going to leave you
Spike
all.
said she had a meeting.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Spike avoids me
Also,
these days. I'm going to cling.
I do avoid
every second.
Amanda. Yes, I do. I go and I sneak in the corner with the other cool girls after cheer practice, and we talk about you and we smoke cigarettes.
That's
very
bullshit.
dramatically.
Because I was always an extremely good lookout for the girls who smoked. Bullshit. You would absolutely invite me if you were doing that. I'm not a snitch.
We would make you take one puff and then laugh when you coughed.
Yes. That was high school, my last year. Yes.
Oh, this is depressing. I'm leaving. Okay, I am checking out because Amanda's fucking depressing me, and also I'm literally keeping people waiting right now in the
Then go.
section.
Shoo.
Abby, thank you so much for coming. I'm sorry I was a raging chatterbox and barely let you get a word in edgewise, but that should remediate itself because I'm taking off. Kel, Amanda, been a slice per usual. Talk to y'all later.
Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Abby, we can keep going.
Oh yeah, I'm down to keep going.
Yeah.
Now there's this gulf between me and y'all because Spike's avatar just disappeared. It's based on who's actively in the call.
I probably will have to go around midnight just because I'm already past my bedtime.
That's cool. That's cool.
Okay. Then maybe we should do our sign-off stuff.
Wow.
I'm
so sorry to cut it short. I mean, I guess it wasn't necessarily short.
No, we went long. We usually go for 2 hours.
No, I've had a question I've been dying to ask since I went to the bathroom.
Okay. Oh,
okay. If you had an art doll made of one of your comic or game characters, this question is for Kel as well. It would have been for Spike, but oh well. What would it be?
It would probably for me be Slay the Princess because she has all of these different forms that she takes, and it just feels like that would be great, rife for making a bunch of money on a bunch of art dolls because you have to buy multiple faces or whatever.
Yeah, I see.
I don't know. I have no answer. I'm sorry.
I'm disappointed.
I have no art doll experience.
No, I'm not talking about like a fashion doll. I mean like a resin figurine.
Oh,
like anything. Art doll is an extremely broad phrase, or a broad term. It can apply to everything from like a posable fashion doll to like just a figurine. It just means it is doll-ish, and art honestly just implies like a sort of like boutique thing. Like it is not mass produced. That's what art implies.
Mona from book 3 of The Last Halloween, when that eventually is done, she gets really cool. So I want that to be the one. That would be really cool.
I can't believe Kel didn't say Elsie.
Oh yeah, let's give all the figurines of Elsie. Elsie's great.
All right.
I love her little pug nose. It's good.
Kenton says, "Hear me out, Tabitha's that's nice face."
Oh, hi Lex, hello.
Yeah. Yeah, Elsie would be the best one. Because her face is weird. In a good way.
Okay.
Cool.
That's a good question though. That's a fun one to ask.
Yeah. Abby, I'm sorry for putting you on the spot to draw a wolf, even though you haven't seen the 10th Kingdoms.
That's okay. That's on me for not having watched it sooner.
No, this is not a thing that people need to watch. It's just my weird brainworms. And like I said, it's embedded into the DNA of my comics. That's also probably why I like stories that are like weird twists on fairy tales, or
Nerd.
updates on fairy tales. That's probably also why Mel likes it too. Uh, then Amanda, who would you pick for your dolls?
Yeah.
The easiest thing would be Claire from Love Me Nice, because it's a good cross-section of people know me as boob drawer, but also people know me as, like, Love Me Nice lady. So I think it'd be a good cross-section between me love boob draws, me love, and then you have the people who don't, but they like my comic. And then I think you have people who would like, I don't know anything you make, but this appeals to me. So I
Very
think
appealing shape.
yeah, I think that's the kind of
Definitely, yeah.
character you could sell at a convention. Someone like picks up, goes, don't know what the fuck this is, but I'm buying it. Like sometimes when you're doing like convention merchandise, or it helps. Like it sucks, but it helps to have something where someone just like, I just like this in general. I had this experience. I think it was at Comic Palooza in Houston, Texas, where I was selling. I had the little acrylic charms made, and of all the Love Me Nice characters, and the Mac one, he's sort of hanging by his tail and drinking a beer. And a bunch of like, I want to say middle school age boys walked by and were like, oh, that monkey's drinking a beer, holy shit. And then they walked away. And then they came back with a much larger group of boys, and they all bought one. Because it was a monkey drinking a beer, and they thought that was the most amazing thing they'd ever seen. Keep in mind, I was at a booth right next to Rob Liefeld, and these boys were fixating on this monkey drinking a beer. They did not give a shit about of all this like classic like superhero art on sale. They wanted the monkey drinking the beer.
Well,
It
to
spoke
be
to
fair,
them.
it wasn't necessarily good classic superhero.
Children don't know that. Children are stupid. Again, they fixated on a monkey drinking a beer.
You just gotta tap into the collective consciousness of people drinking a beer, or a nice shapely woman with a nice look.
Or
nice
both.
Look to her. Wow.
I mean, if it's
as you can tell, I usually go to bed about 15 minutes ago.
a shapely, like, what's your type? A shapely woman with a nice look to her.
Yes,
like
a nice roundness.
Yeah, I like shapes, textures, colors.
In one body, 2 shapes or 3, perhaps.
No tangents, though. God, no tangents. No tangents on my woman.
That's one thing I can't abide.
God, do you remember when people gave us shit, like a big shit about tangents? That was like, it was like all the babies learned what a tangent, all like the baby artists learned what a tangent was, and they like went on like a art policing patrols, like, tangents!
I mean, I do that a lot as an
I know.
editor.
No, I
don't know
mean
if
like people would find intentional tangents and go nuts on them.
How?
Like there's a place in work for like intentional tangents, and people would still go nuts on them.
I don't know how much y'all remember about when I was on Strip Search, or how plugged in you were.
I watched the whole thing, because that was before I knew you, and I watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was pretty big in webcomic spaces, because there are not many webcomic people. So,
I remember the big discussion is the episode on social media. Scott Kurtz gave
I remember watching that one going, what? This is who's giving the social media advice? The person who doesn't, like, who cannot behave on social media and, like, loses his shit?
Well, like, because there was that one person who, like, their response was to not respond to negative tweets. And he's like, well, you gotta. And it's like, no, you don't.
No, you
this
don't.
is a beautiful thing. You don't have to talk to those assholes.
Yeah, the whole thing with me was that one night where they didn't want to send the 2 people home, so then one of them fixated on me and was just like, this person, their art is fucking shit, we should just send this person home. And it was specifically because there was a tangent in like the standee.
Yes, I 100% remember that.
And everybody, it became Team Tangent. Wow, Abby doesn't know how to draw, and that's the cool part about her. And it's like, I do.
No, well, that's the thing. I also remember, like, because I my only impression of you was from the show, and I remember being like, I don't know. And then I met you, and I was like, fuck that show. Like, I felt bad because I was like, I don't know about this person. And then I actually met you. I was like, man, fuck that show. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Oh, good.
because I remember distinctly.
It was
like,
they had really shitty narratives about like people. It was really gross, and it's like one of those. I didn't realize it affected me. I'm like, oh no, I am sheep.
Well, basically, my reaction was like to Strip Search is I remember talking to someone and being like, because they had met you in person and I had not yet. I had only seen you on Strip Search, and I was like, well, she kind of rubbed me on the wrong way on Strip Search, but I assume that's just shitty editing because that's how reality shows roll. Like, and those were my exact words to the person I was talking to. I was like, I just assume that it's probably intentionally shitty editing on their part to make her look bad, because that's how reality shows work.
I remember just getting increasingly pissed off at the show too, because like
because there was that one ping pong ball episode, and I was like, this is stupid.
Well, the challenges had nothing to do with comics. I was just sitting there fucking like, what does this challenge have to do with I was just getting increasingly pissed off. And then when they would have the showdowns, I was just like, they were having like a narrative comic person go up against like a gag strip person, and like, who made the better comic? And it's like,
they always went for the gag strip.
It was like, so fucking stupid.
I think one of my favorite comics that was made on that show was Monica's, which was basically, she managed in 90 minutes in like one page of comics to tell like an entire story. And it was really good. And it was very thoughtful. And it was clearly her story. Like, it was basically, actually, wait, I think they, them now, I'm not confirmed on that, but I'm going to switch to it anyway. I think like their comic was, about kind of the way that their parents saw their art and how it was just like, oh, well, you're going to get a real job, right? And like one page, they managed to tell that story really beautifully with like using the roller skates and the dinosaurs that they had pulled out of the hat. And I was just like, they kicked them off for that.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck? Because you didn't draw like a gag comic. Ugh.
I also like remember watching the show and quite like, it was also a really hard show to root for a winner, because in my head I was like, if I were on this show, I wouldn't want to win first place. I'd want second place because I don't like the first place prize. I don't want to work for Penny Arcade. That was very much my, like, I was like, I can't root for a winner because I don't actually want them to win. I don't want them to have that prize because I don't think it's a very good prize. I think it's a curse.
Also, if I rubbed anybody the wrong way, I also was 20 and
oh, fuck it. No.
Not perfect. So.
I rubbed people the wrong way, and I wasn't on a reality TV show. I ended up
meeting you in person, Abby, like 2 weeks after I had that conversation with that person, and you were delightful. So, like, I was confirmed in my, it was probably just bad editing thought.
Abby, I rubbed people the wrong way all over Tumblr, and I wasn't on a reality TV show. So, like, it's cool. I was a little shitheel.
There's a lot of artists that hate me because I said don't sell fan art. And I stick to that.
As well you should. You don't own the IP. Like, it's a quick way to make money, but people will get invested for you for, I mean, we don't have to go over it. We're all in agreement.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, in my early 20s, I fell in with, like, some weird Mean Girl shit, and I regret it.
It happens. I mean, a lot of people try to convince you that because they're angry that they're right.
Yeah.
Abby, one of my favorite memories of hanging out with you is when we were watching Digimon Try.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't I there for that? And I was so confused.
You were there for that, but you didn't have the same reaction as Abby and I because you were not invested in the Digimons. And so we're watching it with Molly. And it's the part where Gomamon leaves a note because he's leaving forever. And Molly can speak and read Japanese. So the note pops up on screen and Molly goes, oh, no, because the subtitles hadn't popped up yet. And you and I were both like, what's going on? And then the subtitles pop up and then we both also go, oh, no.
Yeah, I remember all three of y'all were watching that, and I had no experience with Digimon, so I was just quietly sitting, like, I think I was, like, on a chair, like, away from y'all, kind of watching from distance, just every 10 minutes, I think I'd mutter, what the fuck?
Just watching these people as if we are all in a zoo,
Yeah, kind
reacting
of like
to some box that has been set in front of us.
because
And
I
you're
was
like,
trying
"Let's
to like
see what the
parse
box."
it as we went, and like I don't want to ask too many questions because they're clearly enjoying themselves, but also what the fuck? What is that?
We would have loved to explain Digimon to you had you asked.
I don't like to interrupt people's viewing experience, but like I was constantly going, "What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Who is this? Why is this a big deal?"
Amanda, one
Appreciated
of my favorite memories of watching TV with you is when we were watching that horrible vampire show on Netflix.
Yes.
And you fell asleep and you woke up and you asked me what happened, and I said there was a very intense baking cooking scene, and you were like, "Okay, what else?" And I was like, "No, that's kind of all that's happened that's important." Like
And like it wasn't
they
a
cook-
short nap.
Yeah, like you were asleep for like 3 hours. There was like nothing that happened in 3 episodes except they bought bacon and then they cooked it very intensely. And the bacon cooking scene was accidentally funny, but otherwise you did not miss anything of note.
And like Kel can vouch, like if there's something to watch on the TV, I usually fixate on it. Me falling asleep while actively watching something is not typical of me. And that show just put me to bed. Also, I remember I did wake up in time for the very intense bacon cooking scene.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I told you they bought bacon.
Yes, you told me they bought bacon, and I woke up in time. Okay.
Let me intensely cooking it.
No, let me explain. Okay. Okay. So, they were going to basically bait, I think, another werewolf to attack them.
Yeah, a werewolf. Yes.
They wanted to one werewolf wanted to catch another werewolf, I think. And so they were going to bait him. But they don't explain what their plan is. You just see their preparations for their plan. You see them get some supplies quietly and slowly. Then you see this one character, and there's dramatic music playing, and there's like dark lighting, and he's like cooking bacon very seriously. Like he's got the spatula or whatever, and he's like tapping the bacon and cooking just and then you see him pour off the grease. And then again, these sleeves are very slow. And then you see that character being tied to like a post or something, very slowly wound up, and then another character gets that bacon grease and starts rubbing the other character down with it. It's again dramatically like there's like
it's a very dramatic
playing.
scene of them doing something completely ridiculous. It's basically the bacon grease smell was supposed to be bait for the werewolf.
Okay, I figured.
It was, and the werewolf did show up and did maul him, and it was again 100%. This was very dramatic, very sad. Would cry every time.
Oh my
God. That show was also horribly sexist, and really hated Romani people,
which was really weird because like it's really like got a lot of like racism towards Romani people in a very like, wait, this is set in America. Like, not to say America isn't racist.
In modern day America, why are they so against Romani people?
Like, not to say like modern Americans aren't racist,
Google,
but
like I went and looked on Wikipedia to see like, does the book this is based off of, does it take place in like the 1800s in Europe? Because that would explain the way they were being racist to Romani people. But it's modern day America, and so is the book that it's based off of. So it's just inexplicably extremely racist to
but
Romani
it was also
people.
In a way where it acknowledged, oh, this is problematic, this is racist, it shouldn't happen. But I'm also like, we're in the fucking America. Like, no, like, what is this?
Like, people don't know. Like,
what was it called?
Something hollow. Wolf Hollow?
Yeah.
Maybe?
No, not Wolf.
Yes.
Pines?
Oh gosh, I want to say.
But yeah, it was some locational thing.
Fuck, I can't remember.
Well, I didn't know what you were talking about until you started talking about the racism against Romani people.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, wait a minute, I remember this one.
Yeah, it was awful.
And there's the guy who's a vampire who doesn't know he's a vampire, and that's also very weird.
Oh yeah.
Because he has like Jedi mind. He's running around Jedi mind tricking everyone, and he's like, people just do what I tell them to do, and I have no idea why. Shrug.
Does he have
People
none of
must
the
like
other
me, I guess.
vampire symptoms? Like, can't go outside during the
Their
day?
vampires are
No,
weird.
I hate
their vampires are like, it was like revealed that he's like half vampire, and he maybe sexually assaulted his cousin, and that's how he's going to become a full vampire. Like, but it was
wasn't
all
there
done
like
in
a
a
secret
weird, like,
lab that people are grown in?
Yes, there was also a secret lab to study vampires, and his mom was a vampire. But
Wait,
again,
there was a Frankenstein woman in that, right?
I think they were making a Frankenstein woman.
Like in the
Anyway.
loosest sense, in a very, we don't have to give her any makeup kind of way. We don't have to do any VFX on this chick. Frankenstein in name only.
That's the one.
Yeah,
Hemlock Grove. It is.
Yeah, there we go. I remember also there's the autopsy scene. The werewolf was killing other girls in high school because they were all sluts. And she's not like other girls, not like those dumb sluts in high school. That's why she has to kill them. And then there's the autopsy scene where the like coroner is like went straight for the snatch, just like all the others. So
that's what the coroner said outright.
Is running around eating other girls' crotches because they're sluts.
That is very bad. That's a very bad plot, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I fell asleep through a good portion of it, and yet I was still awake to catch some wild and yet banal shit. That's the thing about the way it was filmed. Like, this sounds like some like wild shit, but the way it's filmed and presented is so,
it's like filmed in the most boring way possible. Like,
it feels like this is trying to be like what's it called? My coffee's wearing off. I'm forgetting how words work.
Is it like trying to be kind of similar to like Hannibal almost?
No. No. It's much more like that was. No, this is trying to almost be like somber.
Yeah.
It's very strange. It was like trying to be
They're like these werewolf murders are deadly serious. Even though we just talked about how the
bad.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, isn't it tragic and bad? Even though we're using cartoon racism.
And then like also like yeah, it was just, but it was full of bizarre decisions. And also apparently got a second season. I never watched the second season because of the bizarre nightmare that was the first season. But yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things I cannot recommend to people because it's like I can't say I had a good time. I had a time.
Like, the 10th Kingdom is not good, but you will enjoy it if you like that brand of cheese.
Oh. You know what? Let's end the note on something good. I watched all of Kaguya-sama.
Oh, I love that show.
Yes, it's very
great.
Good. It's very funny. I don't like the drama. I do like the jokes. The jokes are extremely good.
Abby, if you don't know what I always call it Love is War because
Kaguya-sama.
That's
yeah.
And it's Love is War as far as I'm concerned. But basically it's two quote unquote smart kids trying to trick the other into admitting they have feelings for them. So they're having like elaborate mind games. And what's at stake is they'll go on a date, but one person has to ask the other out.
Yeah, I don't like the melodrama. I think it overstayed its welcome, and it's a little bit too extreme. Like, but that's just me. I don't like the drama. But
I really like that Chizuki, I might be saying her name wrong, keeps teaching
Oh,
the boy.
Chika. Chika
Yeah,
Fujiwara.
Chika. Yeah, she keeps teaching the main guy to do shit that he's horrible
I
at.
love that when
and
you
is
start watching the show, like, Chika comes off as like, oh, this is the cute girl you're gonna love. And by the end of the show, I'm just like, fuck this idiot. Fuck this dumbass. Miyuki is the horrible son she deserves. She reaps what she sows by being the worst.
But I like that she
I say that with love though. I love to hate that girl. She's awful.
I love like the episode where they're trying to decide where to go for a summer trip. And he's like, we should go to the mountains, because he is hiding the fact that he can't swim and he doesn't want to look like an idiot in front of the girl he likes. And she goes, no, we should go to the beach. And she's thinking, because then I can be in my sexy bikini and I'll be irresistible. And then they're coming up with all these different reasons on why the mountain or the beach is superior. And then swap places, because while arguing, different things occur to them, because he realizes there's a lot of bugs in the mountain and he is afraid of bugs. So he will end up, what's worse, not being able to swim or looking like
I'm gonna be honest, like, this is not, like, this is really not a good sell. The delivery is everything, because when he changes his mind, he just very quickly says, actually no, the mountains, we can't do the mountains, the beach sounds good. It's the delivery on this show is fucking everything. Like, there will be scenes where, and we do need to end, and we don't need to preach on and on, but there are scenes where Kaguya, she basically will see, like, she will interpret other girls as like competition at the drop of a dime, and her thoughts will turn very dark, and she will just be like, this whore, this harlot, how can she be this way? I hope she dies. I hope. And like with the most, like, God, her voice even drops, like, I want to say 3 octaves, because it's just like she's
like, I'm going to murder them in their sleep.
She completely turns on them. But then the girl will say something innocuous that, like, is like, and then again, it's like makes it her like so the joke will be something like the girl says, like, oh, I want to come along to the guy, like, oh, you're so cute, like, I think the guy's handsome, and she's just like, fuck you, how dare you, harlot, you whore, you but then the girl's like, oh, I also want Kaguya to come along, she's cute, and then on a dime again she'll flip like, oh, you're an angel, I love you, you're the perfect it's just the flip and the delivery, like, and she will go from like this deep guttural, like, I hope you die, to the most ew voice. It's great. It's really the delivery.
I gotta peace out.
Oh no, understandable. 100% understandable.
Yes, but this has been so much fun.
Yes.
Let's tell everyone where they can find everyone else.
No one should find me. They have to solve my special clues to be able to track me down on social media. Anyway,
well, fine. I'll advertise my social shit since you guys don't want to. You can read all of my comics, all of my sexy werewolves at kelmcdonald.com. I also do a fantasy comic about 23 kids that got same prophecy dream, telling them they're the chosen one, that you can read at my Patreon at patreon.com/kelmcdonald. And I am on Twitter at Kelhound, spelt like Hellhound, where you can see the many wolf drawings I'm collecting. No one else?
Look, my username on Twitter is under my name. You can Google it. It links to my stuff. Goodbye. Abby?
There's a scary sound outside the door. I'm scared of going to sleep. Anyway, you can find me at Abby Howard. You can also follow Black Tabby Games on Twitter, where we talk about our game stuff. Find us on Steam. Find my books on the internet. Okay.
Also, go back, The Lizard Prince and Other South American Stories. It's crowdfunding now on ironcircus.com.